Sirach chapter 1 is of much wisdom, right? It's of much wisdom, and it's something that we definitely need. We need to know where wisdom came from, right? How did it come about? Who was it given to, right? Because this is the wisdom of the Lord, right? This is knowledge of the Lord, man. So why not, kind of grasp and take hold and cleave onto the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of the Lord, man. Right. So do I have a reader? Do I indeed have a reader?
Sirach. Shalom,
Shalom.
brother.
Shalom. Y'all about to Shabbat.
But Yabashim Yashabakata. Shalom to the room.
Come. So yeah, we're gonna start off with let's get started right chapter 1. Right, let's hop right into it. Right. This is a good breakdown for Sirach chapter 1 on a milk and meat level. Right. Most High will somebody gets edified through this lesson to get a more understanding of wisdom and why we need it. Right. So let's start off with Sirach chapter 1.
This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 1, the prologue of the wisdom of Yahushua, the son of Sirach. Whereas many and great things have been delivered unto us by the law and the prophets, and by others that have followed their steps, for the which things Israel ought to be commended for learning and wisdom, and whereof not only the readers must needs become skillful themselves, but also they that desire to learn be able to profit them which are without, both
All right,
by
Lucky.
speaking.
All right, so Lucky can. All right, so right now we're reading the prologue of Sirach now. Right, so to touch on that point, it says, "Whereas many and great things have been delivered unto us by the law and the prophets, and by others that have followed their steps." So great things and many miracles even came upon those that actually seeked after the law, right, and after what the prophets taught them, right. That's why I said at the beginning it's a blessing to even be able to come back to a class and gain this knowledge, man, because this is something that's needed, and good things come from this, man. Right? Nobody had to go to Esau schools to learn the Bible, right? The Most High kind of clicked on our light, brought us back to our nationality, and we started reading the records of our ancestors, man. Right? The words of the Lord. So that's why it's a blessing, and these are one of the good things that come upon you when you grasp to the law, when you cleave onto the law and to what the prophets tell you. Right? You gain more wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of who you are, of who your people are, and of your God. Right? So it says, "For which things Israel ought to be commended for learning and wisdom, and whereof not only the readers must needs become skillful themselves." So for a reader, right, a reader must become skillful themselves, right? Gaining this wisdom, right? Gaining the knowledge and understanding, searching out the scriptures day in, day out, man, right? Kind of writing down, and you got a whole bunch of precepts in your notebook, right? Now you're getting history books. Now you got a study Bible, right? Hopping into many things. That's how you become skillful in this thing. You take your study into a whole nother level, right? Because in due season, any reader and anybody that's not teaching, they will have to start reading or teaching at upon a time, right? Even if I have to be to the children, right? You got to teach them, right? As the brothers, we know, hey, we got to teach our wives, we got to teach the children as well, right? So gaining this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding will cause you to become skillful. And that's something that we all should be looking towards, to become skillful in some type of way, because you have to place your brick in, right, for your nation. If you really want to serve your nation, you got to become skillful in something, right? In the world, you might have knew what you wanted to do. You was probably really good at something in the world, and you can make those things righteous when you come into this truth, when you come into knowing who you are. So it's a need for everybody to become skillful in these last days and increase each and every day. right? So you can read on that.
Both speaking and writing. My grandfather, can I be heard?
Con, we can hear you out.
Oh, okay. My grandfather, Yahweh, when he had much given himself to the reading of the law and the prophets and other books of our fathers, and had gotten therein good judgment, was drawn on also himself to write something pertaining to learning and wisdom, to the intent that those which are desirous to learn and are addicted to these things might profit much more in living according to the law.
So Salakia,
Wherefore,
right? Salakia, right? It says in our, it says to the intent that those which are desirous to learn and are addicted to these things might profit much more in living according to the law, right? So if we want to live according to the law, right, we have to be desirous to learn, right? At no point of time where you should be weary of learning something new, man, right? Nobody should be boasting themselves up, right? Trying to make it seem like they know everything, man, right? We can learn something new each and every day. You might learn something from your child, man, right? You might learn something from somebody younger than you, right? And for the younger brothers, hey, you might learn something. You most likely will learn something from somebody that's older than you, right? So like it. So, okay, so like it. Con, right? So it says to the intent that those which are desires to learn and are addicted to these things, we need to be addicted to this truth, man. Right? We need to be addicted to learning, right? Because as you become addicted to the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the Lord, you become the prosper, right? You become exalted by the Most High, right? So you can read on that.
wherefore, let me entreat you to read it with favor and intention, and to pardon us, wherein we may seem to come short of some words, which we have labored to interpret. For the same things uttered in Hebrew and translated into another tongue have not the same force in them. And not only these things, but the law itself and the prophets and the rest of the books have no small difference when they are spoken in their own language. For in 30th year coming into Egypt, when Euergetes,
Mm.
when Euergetes was king, no, Salakia, Euergetes, my bad, Salakia, was king, and continuing there some time, I found a book of no small learning. Therefore, I thought it most necessary for me to bestow some diligence and travail to interpret it,
Right,
using
so like,
great.
right. So that's encouraging words to be honest, right? It says, I thought it most necessary for me to bestow some diligence and travail to interpret it, right? So knowing that the scriptures are interpreted, right, or even when you have to interpret the scriptures, meaning to make it, uh, to have somebody else understand it, you have to break it down in layman terms, right? You want to be able to do that through the knowledge of the scriptures, right? You want to bestow some diligence to yourself when you studying, when you praying, when you fasting, when you're doing anything in this walk or in the truth, right, in righteousness. You want to make sure you bestow diligence into yourself, right? So you can read on that.
Using great watchfulness and skill in that space to bring the book to an end and set it forth for them also, which in a strange country are willing to learn, being prepared before in manners to live after the law. All wisdom coming from the Lord and is with him forever.
So it says all wisdom cometh from the Lord, man. Right? All wisdom comes from the Lord, man. Wisdom of the left hand and the right hand, it comes from the Lord, right? Having this understanding now, understand that the Lord holds all power, man. He has power over everything. So with the wisdom that anybody has, it came from the Lord, man. It was ordained for that person, that specific person, or even a nation in general, right, would have a certain type of understanding of the wisdom that the Most High God gave them, right? All wisdom coming from the Lord, and it is with him forever. It's always been with the Lord, man, right? Let's go to Proverbs chapter 6. Proverbs chapter 2 and verse number 6.
This is the book of Proverbs 2 and 6. For the Lord giveth wisdom, out of his mouth cometh knowledge and understanding.
So the Lord gives wisdom, right? So most of your prayers should be asking the Lord, to give you wisdom. You need wisdom, especially if it's coming from the Most High God, man, right? For the Lord giveth wisdom, out of his mouth cometh knowledge and understanding. So if it comes out of the Lord's mouth of wisdom and understanding, and us being his children, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding is supposed to come out of your mouth, man. Right? Every time you speak, right, you should be speaking forth with knowledge and understanding. Knowledge about what you're talking about and actually understanding, right? Even on a deeper levels, man. Right? That goes for the brothers as well, right? The Most High puts his words into our mouth to speak to our people. How do we speak to our people? Through knowledge and understanding, man. Right? That's why the Lord tells us to always be ready to give an answer, right? Because through us giving answers, we're giving answers based off the knowledge and understanding that the Lord has given us, right? And at the end of the day, that glorifies the Lord's name. That exalts the Lord. So it's a blessing to even have that certain type of understanding or the wisdom that the Most High giving, right? Let's go to Proverbs chapter 3 and verse number 19.
This is Proverbs 3 and 19. The Lord by wisdom hath founded the earth. By understanding hath he established the heavens.
So it says, the Lord by wisdom has founded the earth, man. So the Lord fixed up the earth. He established it. He founded the earth, man. Right? So this even goes down to certain philosophies, man, that Esau will make up, trying to say, hey, the Big Bang Theory, asteroid hit the earth, and civilization was created, man, right? Or even the nasty and disgusting Egyptian thought of how the earth became, man, right? Of Amen, right? With that getting, you kind of got to look into that, right? To be even to see what I'm talking about, man. But it's disgusting, right? And what the Egyptians thought of how the earth was created, right? But according to the scriptures, if we grasp onto the scriptures, we understand that the Lord founded the earth, man. Right? The Lord is the one that appointed the earth or instructed the earth to be created, right? So like, and it also says, right? The Lord by wisdom hath founded the earth, by understanding hath he established the heavens. So by the understanding of the Lord, of what he had and what he wanted, he he established the earth, man. I mean the heavens, right? He prepared it in a certain type of way, right? He put everything into its place, right? So who made the heavens and the earth? The Lord, man. And the wisdom to go forth and on how to make it and instructing you how to make it came from the Lord, right? It didn't come anywhere else, man, right? So like, right? Let's get Proverbs chapter 21 and verse number 11. Proverbs chapter 21.
You said chapter 21 and 11?
So like verse number 30.
Oh, something going on with my phone. Oh, real quick.
So like Proverbs chapter 21 and verse number 30.
Okay. So like my phone froze up on me. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 21 and verse 30. There is no wisdom, nor understanding, nor counsel against the Lord.
Right. So there's no wisdom, nor understanding, nor counsel against the Lord, man. Why is no wisdom, understanding, or counsel against the Lord? Why? Because the Most High created it. It all stems from the Most High. The Most High controls and has that power to distribute a certain type of wisdom to an individual or even to a nation, right? How do you think Esau knows how to be a cunning hunter, man? Right? Because the Most High created him to be like that, right? That wisdom that Esau has about hunting and how to do things, it came from the Most High, man, right? He controls each and everything. There's no wisdom that's against the Lord. There's no understanding or advice or counsel that is against the Lord, man, right? Because the Most High, He's the Father of all spirits, man, right? He's the Father of all things, man. He created everything, right? He's over everything. That's like the CEO, man, right? Sitting on his throne, watching everything play out and be instructed. That's how the Lord is, right? So that's even dipping and dabbing into knowing the power of the Lord, man. Wherever you thought you got your understanding or your wisdom from, it came from the Lord, right? So let's go back to Sirach, chapter 1.
Shalaki.
Come on, bring it out.
And you know, some people might read that, you know, there is no wisdom, nor understanding, nor counsel against the Lord, and think, yeah, nobody could go against God, you know. That's not really saying that, right? Because we know in Psalms 83, they brought out crafty counsel, right? Against the Lord and his anointed. We know in Psalms 2, you know, why did the heathen range? And, you know, imagine a vain thing that the kings and the princes set themselves against the Lord and his people, right? So, yeah, the wicked always try to bring counsel, right? But it's not going to come to nothing. You know, it's like you trying to make wicked plans against me, and I'm sitting right there in the room, hearing, knowing all the plans, knowing the inner thoughts of everyone's heart in that room. It's not going to succeed, right? That's why it tells you, you know, the Lord. Let me just run through it real quick. I don't want to misquote it. It's Psalms 2. You don't have to go to it. I'll grab it. What does it say? Yeah, in verse 4 it says, "He that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh." Right? So you there making counsel, oh, yeah, we're going to destroy his people, we're going to destroy God. You know, the Most High sitteth in the heaven, he that sitteth in heaven shall laugh. The Lord shall have them in derision. Right? So yeah, you're gonna bring all your weapons. You're gonna join all your councils. You know, you got the UN going on. You got all of these, you know, big top dogs coming together with their private meetings. Right? They still doing that wicked counsel. They still doing it against us. But he that sitteth in the heaven shall laugh, because you're trying to go against God and his anointed. The angels stand right next to the people that fear God. The angels mark the ones who sigh and cry, right? We got protection on every side. That's why we're still here, right? And that's why, you know, they can never blot us out, because we got a God who is in every council that they try to do, right? So, yeah, man, all praises to the Most High.
Yeah, that's a good point, man. Right? A lot of the councils that they have going about, right? It destroyed us in a way, but even with that council that they brought up or even came about, right? It didn't overtake us, right? We still here and we still growing as a nation, right? Let's get Acts chapter 5 real quick. Acts chapter 5, I believe verse 39.
This is the book of Acts 5 and 39. But if it be of Yahweh, ye cannot overthrow it, lest haply ye be found even to fight against Yahweh.
Right. So them councils that the heathen were trying to make now, right? Or even those councils that the heathen had with one consent that they were confederate against us and even tried to take or cause us to forget our nationality, right? It wasn't going to prosper, right? Because it wasn't of the Lord, man, right? It was of the counsel or even the wisdom of the wicked, man, right? So knowing that anything that comes from the wicked is going to be thrown down, man, right? It's going to be overthrown. But if it be of God, you cannot overthrow it. That's why anytime where, Israelites on a spiritual battlefield, man, right, bringing out the scriptures, there's nothing and nobody that can overthrow it because it's of the Lord, man, right? We're growing and prospering in ways that many people can't see, man, right? We growing our nation back, right? There's no way Esau or any of the heathen can overthrow us, man, as long as we stay girded up with the scriptures, keeping the statutes, and commandments of the Lord, man. Can't nothing overthrow us, right? Because we are of God. Them councils that the heathen want to make, they not of God, and you see them crumbling down even today, man. You see the U.S. crashing down, all these other countries coming against America, man, right? They're being overthrown because they're not of God. As much as they want to say, in God we trust, man, right? We know that's a lie, right? Because if you really trusted in the Lord, half of the thing that's going on in America would never happen, right? A lot of the violence that's going on in America, man, would not be happening. All the out of orderness that's in the world today would not be happening if America really trusted in God, man, right? So we know who in these last days really trust in the Lord. We know who's of the Lord and who's not of the Lord, right? We know the Israelites versus the world, man, right? The Israelites are of the Lord, and the world is just of the world or of Satan, as you would say, of the devil, right? And that's why it's important to know which side you're gonna choose. All right. Which side do you want? Do you want to be on the righteous side, fighting the battle of Yahweh Shai, or do you want to be on the world side, fighting for a wicked society, man? Right? Because the Israelites, no matter what, is gonna get overthrown because we're of the Lord. It says, "Lest happily ye be found, even to fight against God." So if you fight against the Israelites, right, fight against brothers, sisters that's in the truth, right, keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, you fight against the Most High God, man. And it don't matter what fight you try to pick, man. You try to pick a fight with the Lord, you're gonna lose, right? The Most High don't even have to really touch you, man. Or he'll hit you in certain ways where you never imagined, right? So you fight against the Lord if you fight against the Israelites, right? That's why with having wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, it becomes our buckler, our help, right? It keeps a shield around us with the wisdom that we have. Because a lot of people would be destroyed. A lot of Israelites would be destroyed if they didn't have wisdom, man. A certain type of wisdom. Oh, yeah, we can't go down there. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole trap down there, right? Or having that type of wisdom. Hey, I need to read today, right? Right? And even with this class, man, right? Put on my spirit to even have this breakdown, right? Because I had this for about 2 months now, right? I've been had this written down, but it was of the Lord, right? It wasn't nothing that was out of order, man, right? It was of the Lord, right? Let's see. Let's go back to Sirach, and let's read verse number 2.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 1, verse 2. Who can number the sand of the sea and the drops of the rain and the days of eternity?
But read on.
Who can find out the height of heaven and the breadth of the earth, the breadth of the earth, and the deep and wisdom?
So those are actual questions. Who can do all these things? Who can know the deepest and darkest things? Hey, that's the Lord, man. Right? Those are questions that we can't necessarily answer for real, right? And even trying to go in depth into it, those are the questions that we can't answer, right? Those are answers that Yahweh Shem Shai has, especially with knowing that the Lord founded the earth, man, and established the heavens, right? Read on.
Wisdom hath been created before all things, and the understanding of prudence from everlasting.
Right. So wisdom has been created before all things, and understanding of prudence from everlasting. So when it says wisdom has been created before all things, who does that sound like? Right. That's a real question, right? Anybody on in the class can answer that. Who does that sound like?
Yahweh.
Khan, right? That's Yahweh Shai, right? Because there was nothing. Because let's go to Colossians chapter 1, the first chapter, real quick, and start at verse number 13, right? Because when it says wisdom have been created before all things, you have to ask yourself if the scriptures tell you that Yahweh Shai was the firstborn or was before all things were created before all things. Wisdom wasn't created before him or even after him, right? Wisdom is Yahweh Shai, and Yahweh Shai is wisdom, right? And understanding of prudence from everlasting. That's having a an everlasting understanding, right? That's having understanding of the deepest, darkest things, or even how the world was really created, man, or even the heavens. Yahweh Shai holds that wisdom. He holds that knowledge and understanding, right? Because he, through the power of Yahweh Shai, created the heavens and the earth, right? So let's get that in Colossians chapter 1.
This is the book of Colossians chapter 1, verse 13. Who have delivered us from the power of darkness and have translated us into the kingdom of his dear Son,
Right, read on.
in whom we have redemption through his body, even the forgiveness of sins.
Right.
Who is
So
the
who do we select it? So who do we have redemption through his blood and even the forgiveness of sin? That's talking about Yahweh Shai. So in general, we're talking about Yahweh Shai right now. So read on.
who is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn of every creature? For by him were all things created that are in heaven and that are in earth, visible and invisible, whether they be thrones or dominions or principalities or powers. All things were created by him and for him.
Right. So Salakia. Right. All things were created by Yahweh Shai. Right. This is what that's getting into. Right. Yahweh Shai created everything by the power of Yahweh, man. Right. So read on.
Verse 17, and he is before all things, and by him all things consist.
So he is before all things. Yahweh Shai is before all things. Right? So when it says wisdom have been created before all things, that's talking about Yahweh Shai. Because Yahweh Shai is before all things, according to Colossians chapter 1 and verse number 17. So a lot of the times when we're talking about wisdom, we're talking about Yahweh Shai and the power he holds and the wisdom or the knowledge and understanding that he has, right? Which comes from the Lord, right? So let's go back to Sirach chapter 1 and read verse number 4 again.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 1, and verse 4. Wisdom hath been created before all things, and the understanding of prudence from everlasting.
All right, read on.
The word of Yahweh Most High is the fountain of wisdom, and her ways are everlasting commandments.
Right, so Salakia, it says the word of God Most High is the fountain of wisdom, right? It says the word of God Most High. So the word of the Most High God, right? Who is the word, right? According to the scriptures,
Yahweh,
right? Yahweh Shai, right? So it says the word of the Most High God. So Yahweh Shai, right, is the fountain of wisdom, meaning that everything that Yahweh Shai speaks is as if it's a fountain of wisdom. Every action that Yahweh Shai has done, it's been in righteousness and it's been through the knowledge and wisdom or the knowledge and understanding of the Lord. right? It came forth of the action of wisdom. Wisdom a lot of the times is an action, right? Because I know there has been a time in your life where somebody said, "Hey, you use wisdom." They tell you after you committed an action that was most likely in righteousness, man. Right? So a lot of times when we're talking about wisdom, we're talking about Yahushua, but even the actions that come from wisdom or the actions that came from Yahushua, right? So it says the word of the Most High is the fountain of wisdom, and her ways are everlasting commandments. What were the ways of Yahushua? Walk in the commandments of the Lord, right? And everlasting commandments. So meaning you always have walked after the commandments of the Lord. And that's exactly how Yahushua was, right? So read on.
Verse 6. To whom hath the root of wisdom been revealed, or who have known her wise counsels?
Right, so Salakia, right? That's the question. Who hath the root of wisdom been revealed? So who has the Most High God given wisdom to, right? Let's go, Salakia, right? Let's go to 2 Peter chapter 3 and verse number 15.
This is the book of 2 Peter, chapter 3 and 15. An account that the long suffering of our Lord is salvation, even as our beloved brother Paul also according to the wisdom given unto him hath written unto you.
Right. So when it asks you in Sirach chapter 1 and verse number 7, it says, unto whom hath the knowledge of wisdom have been made manifest, who has knowledge of wisdom been bestowed upon, basically, or given to, right? According to 2 Peter chapter 3 and verse 15, it was given to Paul. Paul was given wisdom by Yahweh Shemel Shachna, right? So these are different people that had wisdom or even proven this the answer to this question. Israelites, right, have been given wisdom by the Lord. The Lord gave the Israelites wisdom, right? And Paul was what? An Israelite, right? So according to the scriptures, Paul had wisdom that was given unto him by Yahweh Shemel Shah, right? Let's go to Exodus chapter 36 and verse number 1.
This is the book of Exodus chapter 36 and verse, you said 1?
Come.
Then wrought Bezalel and Aholiab, and
Come.
every wise-hearted man, in whom the Lord put wisdom and understanding to know how to work all manner of work for the service of the sanctuary, according to all that the Lord had commanded.
Right. So the Most High gave Bezalel or an Ahaliab wisdom and understanding on how to work in a manner of certain services in the sanctuary. This is another account of Israelites given wisdom by Yahweh Shemal Shah, right? So if you want to be honest, right, if anybody has wisdom on this earth of what's going on, it is the Israelites, man, right? Because according to the scriptures, the Most High gave wisdom unto the Israelites, all right? So let's go to the book of Deuteronomy chapter 34 and verse number 9. These are just different accounts of who was given wisdom by the Most High God, right? Who did the Most High God give wisdom to, right? So let's bring that up. Deuteronomy chapter 34.
Verse 1.
34 and verse number 9.
This is the book of Deuteronomy 34 and 9. And Joshua, the son of Nun, was full of the spirit of wisdom, for Moses had laid his hands upon him, and the children of Israel hearkened unto him, and did as the Lord commanded Moses.
So this is another brother, right? Another Israelite, Joshua, man, that was given wisdom by the Most High, right? On how to follow or no, how to lead the congregation, how to lead Israel into righteousness, right? This is another brother. right? And that's 3 for a number of completion, man. So if anybody, I'm gonna say it again, if anybody has wisdom on this earth, it is the Israelites, man. And especially on the right-hand side, on the righteous side, it's the Israelites, man. Because the Most High has given us wisdom. We didn't have to go anywhere else to kind of learn. We didn't have to go to our oppressor to learn this Bible, man. Right? We didn't have to go to no cemetery or seminary school, man. Same word, right? Same definition, right? We didn't have to go to these schools to learn the Bible, right? The Most High giving us this wisdom, right? To be able to understand and have knowledge of the scriptures or even what we're reading within the scriptures, man. Right? That's a blessing because everybody's not going to be able to get it. Everybody is not going to get this wisdom of the Lord, man, because the Most High don't want everybody. No, neither do he need everybody, right? He needs of you, right? And a lot of times, brothers out in HOI Chicago, we bring that out a lot, right? The Most High don't need you, but he needs of you, right? He needs of you, giving you your purpose on what to do, right? Brother might be just brought into the truth just to bring somebody else in the truth, man. And the Most High get rid of him, right? There's many accounts of how that goes about and how the Most High makes things happen, as I was saying, right? So let's go back to the Sirach, right? Sirach chapter 1.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter Sirach chapter 1.
In verse number 7.
Okay. And verse number 7. Unto whom have the knowledge of wisdom been made manifest, and who have understood her great experience?
Right, read on.
There is one wise and greatly to be feared, the Lord sitting upon his throne.
Right. So there is one that is wise and greatly to be feared, the Lord sitting upon his throne. That's Yahweh, man. Right? Yahweh is that one that should be greatly feared, man. Right? And has all wisdom, right? Everything that you ever thought of, right? Everything that you ever wanted to do, man. It amazing. The Most High had that wisdom, man. Right? He put that in you, man. Right? So the Most High is the one that should be feared over everything that you fear. Right? We know there's certain things that people fear, man, but the Most High should be on that top of the list. Right? The Most High is the one that you should be fearing, knowing and understanding his power, right? I don't want anybody to get too deep into this truth, man, have many years on them in this truth and forget about what power the Most High God holds, man. Because the fear of the Lord should never leave you, man, right? Even when you having certain thoughts, certain actions, man, right? You should still fear the Lord. And when you snap into that brain or that mindset, hey, I fear the Lord, you're gonna be fearful to do certain things, right? It's a fight in this truth, man. Everybody going through it. Everybody going through something in that mind of theirs, right? Or even through the actions that they see out from day to day, walking in this wickedness, man. Right? You should still fear the Lord, right? Read on.
Verse 8, there is one wise, greatly feared Lord sitting upon the throne. He created her and saw her and numbered her and poured her out upon all his works.
Right.
She is with all flesh according to his gift, and he hath given her to them that love him.
Right. So, and that's talking about the Israelites. She is with all flesh according to his gift, right? The only gift of wisdom that the Most High has given, or who he has given it to, were the Israelites. So when it says she is with all flesh according to his gift, she's with the Israelites, man. The Israelites have that wisdom, and especially when it's coming from the Lord, right? And he have given her to them that love him, right? It's only given to those that love him. And how do we know? How do we love the Lord? By keeping those laws, statutes, and commandments. So wisdom is only bestowed upon those that are keeping the commandments of the Lord, man. So everybody don't have wisdom, right? Everybody does not have wisdom. If you're not keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments, hey man, it's safe to say you don't have wisdom as good as you thought you did, man. right? You are in need of keeping the law, statutes, and commandments so you could continue to have the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the Lord. Because when you go off from the keeping the commandments, now what you become? A bug out, man. Chasing after different philosophies and doctrines, man. Right? Becoming bugged out. Now you hate your own people. Now you talking down on your own brother and your sister. Right? So you need to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments so that you can continue to have wisdom in these last days, man.
Hey,
Everything that you see
philosopher.
going about, right? One second, everything that you see going about, right, and having the knowledge of what's going on outside of the scriptures as well, even in the world, that even when it comes from the scriptures, that causes you to snap into a certain mind again. Like, dang, I know this, right? I know what's going on. Hey, these prophecies really coming to pass, man. Right? You go ahead up.
Yeah, Khan, you were talking about, that you really don't have wisdom if you're not, following the law, statutes, and the commandments, and trying to live that life according to the Most High. And just simple things you could see right now in the world where people really don't have wisdom. You ask somebody, "Can a man be a woman?" and they're gonna say, "Yeah." Could a woman be a man? Yeah. She just has to identify as a man, and she's a man. And so far, so we could actually, because this man says he's a woman, we should let him go fight women in women's sports. It's like you really see the world don't have no wisdom. They don't even have understanding. So
Right.
that is really far from them, man. And you can go on and on with you see that stuff just popping up right now in the world, man. They're
Con,
confounded. Are you?
con, that's a good point out. Right. Everything that's going on in this world, you can see that they don't have righteousness. I seen this one video, I mean not righteousness, but wisdom. I seen this one video. Um, this Jake was talking to this Edomite cop, and he had a cameraman filming him. She asked him, "Oh, can you turn off that camera?" And then Jake said, "Oh, he identifies as a cameraman." Right? And she believed him. How can you identify as a camera and get away with it? Right? That's almost like saying, "Hey, I identify as a billionaire, right? And I just want to walk into a bank and be like, hey, I got an account with y'all. It got over $500 billion in it. I'm gonna need all that." They gonna look at me like I'm dumb. But for some reason, the wisdom of this world, like it says in the scriptures, is foolishness with God, right? According to First Corinthians, right? The wisdom of this world is foolishness with God. So a lot of things that's going on in this world is foolishness because of the understanding that they have, a persona that they're trying to get out there, right? And it's causing all types of confusion from one end of unto the earth, even unto the other, man. Right? So let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 4. Deuteronomy chapter 4, and read verse number 5, right?
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4 and 5. Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord my God commanded me, that ye should do so in the land whither ye go to possess it. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding and the sight of the nations, which
So
shall
Salakia.
hear.
So Salakia. Right? The understanding, the wisdom and understanding that we have in the sight of the nations is the law, man. Right? Is the statutes and the judgments that the Most High God taught us, right? Even through the scriptures. This holds the statutes, the judgments, right? The understanding and wisdom of the Lord, right? So as we have this, right, we're looked at in the nations with understanding, that we have understanding. These other nations know that we have understanding, we have wisdom, but as long as they try to throw their philosophies, their doctrines, their genealogies at us, man, they cause us to try to forget of who we are, right? Because as soon as we come back to knowing who we are, now we got wisdom and understanding. That's on a whole different level, that's on a level that can be matched up to. Why? Because it comes from the Lord, right? Since they identify as a billionaire, right? I would definitely identify as a billionaire because all that money is going into my people. It's gonna go into my nation, right? If you ever try to identify as something, you're going off. Right? You shouldn't be identifying as nothing but being a Hebrew Israelite in this captivity, right? So read verse number 6.
Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people.
Right. So when we have this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, the nation's gonna look at us like, dang, this is a wise and understanding people. A lot of the times, if like even going out to camp and you're talking on a professional level, professor type of level, right, about the Bible, people look at you and be like, hey, you wise. Then you really understand that Bible, man. Right? And they'll even think about your age. Oh, he only, or for our younger brothers, he only 15, he only 16, he only 20, 21, right? And knowing the Bible. That's proof to showing you that this Bible is real, man. The Bible said with that wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that we were having, with us showing it forth and putting forth that light, right? These other nations were going to say, hey, this is a wise and understanding people. Then the Syrian president, right? I believe the Syrian president just said that there was an article saying that the black Hebrew Israelites or the Hebrew Israelites, right, are right. So now these heathen aren't agreeing with us because they know the truth. And they're coming out finally and saying, hey, this is a wise and understanding people. That's why this truth can't be messed up with nobody. Right? So somebody says Salaki. Okay, come on. Right. Let's go back to Sirach, chapter 1.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 1, and I believe verse 9.
Come.
I got it marked. No. She is with all flesh, according to verse 10. But we can start at verse 9 if you
You
want.
can read verse number 9.
Because he created her and saw her and numbered her and poured her out upon all his works. He is with all flesh according to his gift, and he hath given her to them that love him.
Right.
The fear of the Lord is honor and glory and gladness and a crown of rejoicing. The fear of the Lord maketh a merry heart and giveth joy and gladness and a long life.
So Salakia, right? These are the type of things that come with you fearing the Lord. This is the type of rewards that come to you when you fear the Lord. When you fear the Lord, things come upon you just like honor, glory, gladness, and a crown of rejoicing. Do we not do that when we came into the knowledge and fear in the Lord? When we came back into knowing who we are, right? We were glad coming into this truth, right? Praying every day, giving thanks to the Most High God that He brought us into this truth. And it says a crown of rejoicing. Don't we rejoice seeing the destruction of America? Don't we rejoice at our high and holy days and feast days, man? The destruction of America is a rejoicing moment to the Israelites because we know we're getting a step closer to our salvation and to our rulership and to seeing Yahushua again, man. Most High will, right? It brings a crown of rejoicing, something that never leaves you, right? Read on.
Make a merry heart. 13, verse 13. Whoso feareth the Lord, it shall go well with him at the last, and he shall find favor in the day of his death.
So it says, whoso feareth the Lord, it shall go well with him at the last. In these last days, if you continue to fear the Lord, it will go well. It will go well with you. Meaning, if that's your type of protection, that's your salvation. Fearing Yahweh Shem Shai. When you fear Yahweh Shem Shai, you continue to keep the law, statutes, and commandments. See that? Right? So whoso feareth the Lord, it shall go well with him at the last, and he shall find favor in the day of his death. It's a favorable thing to be persecuted for Yahweh Shem Shai. Right? To go through the certain things that you're going through, it's an honor to go through for Yahweh Shem Shai. Because these are the certain type of tests that the Most High gives you. This is the type of favor that the Most High God gives you, right? He puts certain things upon you, certain calamities, adversities, right? He puts those certain things upon you because he knows you can handle it, right? And he's trying to get you ready for something, right? So even with getting ready for something, it might be even death, man. And you don't know how to go through it. You don't know how to stay righteous for the Lord because there's going to be many temptations that come to you in these last days, man. In these last days, a whole bunch of temptations going to come upon you, right? And you're going to have to endure it. You're going to have to get through it. You're going to have to walk through that fire so that you yourself can have favor in the day of your death, right? And the day when you give up the spirit, man. And the day, most high will, you get saved out of this captivity, right? You shall always need and want this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, even until it's the time of the end, right? Let's get Isaiah chapter 33. Isaiah chapter 33 and verse number 6.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 33, and verse 26.
Verse number 6.
Oh, come. This is the book of Isaiah 33, and verse 6. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure.
So wisdom and knowledge is going to be the stability of that times. In these last days, things are going to get hard, right? Crucial. Things that you ain't never thought you would see, right? But through the wisdom and knowledge and understanding that you have of the scriptures and of the Most High God, it causes you to be stable, unmovable, like it says in 1 Corinthians, the 15th chapter, man, right? Being unmovable, stable in this truth, right? So that's why you're in need of getting this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, knowing where wisdom came from, right? Who was it given to, right? How to use it, right? Knowing all these things, you get certain attributes and righteousness, right? So when it says, "In wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times and strength of salvation," the fear of the Lord is his treasure. It's a treasure unto you when you start to fear the Lord. Why? Because now it comes with many rewards, like we just read in Sirach chapter 1, in verse number 11 and 12. It says, "The fear of the Lord is honor and glory and gladness and a crown of rejoicing. It makes merry heart and giveth joy and gladness in a long life." These are the type of rewards that come, or the treasures of fearing the Lord. It gives you these certain things, right? So that it can cause you to be stable in these last days. Because if you're not trying to gird yourself up now, right? If you're not trying to stay in the spirit day in, day out, man, when everything get hard, hey, that wisdom gonna escape you, man. Right? It's almost like this wisdom went in one ear and out the other, right? And that's something that you don't want. You want to continue to, hey, get deeper into these scriptures, man. Learn more each and every day, right? Because that's how you gain wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, man. You ask day in, day out for wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, and the Most High gave it to you. You just have to apply yourself now, right? You have to apply yourself. The time of applying yourself is right now, man. Especially like somebody was showing y'all in the beginning, man. All those videos, all the floods, all the destruction that's in America, man. We need wisdom on how to make it out of this place, man. Because if we don't have this wisdom, we'll be destroyed right along with America, man. Right? And I know nobody on this Zoom wants to be destroyed right along with America. Shoot, that's why you're here. That's why you're on Tuesday night class, man. That's why you're here, trying to gain more wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, and that's who we're here for, man. right? So let's go back, right? Sirach chapter 11, right? In verse number 13.
You mean Sirach chapter 1?
Sirach chapter 1 and verse number 13. So I can.
This is the book of Sirach chapter 1 and verse 13. Whosoever feareth the Lord, it shall go well with him at the last, and he shall find favor in the day of his death.
So when it says, whoso feareth the Lord, it shall go well with him at the last, that's you staying stable, unmovable in this truth, right? Let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter 15 and verse number 58.
You said what again?
Let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter 15 and verse number 58.
This is the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 15. And you said 28?
58.
58. Therefore, my beloved brother, be ye steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, for as much as ye know that your labor is not in vain in the Lord.
Right. So you being steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, that's what is well with you in the last, right? That's what it's going into, right? You being stable in this truth, you being unmovable. Like I was saying, temptation is going to come upon you. But when you gird yourself up with the wisdom of Yahweh Shem Shai, you become steadfast and unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, right? So every prayer should kind of be asking for wisdom, man, right? Faith, right? Because those are the things that you're going to need in these last days. A lot of the teachings that's going on now is to prepare you for what's to come, right? Because you never know, right? Jacob's trouble could start tomorrow, man, right? Tonight, right? Jacob's trouble could be starting, and we might see the beginning of it, man. But then again, our children might live through it, right? Because prophecy still got to come to pass, man. Right? Can't skip over prophecy. Prophecy still got to come to pass, right? So let's go back to Sirach chapter 1 and read verse number 13 again.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 1 and 13. Whoso feareth the Lord, it shall go well with him at the last, and he shall find favor in the day of his death.
Right, read on.
To fear the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and it was created with the faithful in the womb.
Right. So to fear the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. What does that sound like? Psalm chapter 111 and verse number 10. Right? The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and it was created with the faithful in the womb. Right? So you coming into this truth, wisdom has been created in you since you are in the womb. Right? That's the Most High God ordaining certain things to you since the beginning of your creation, or since the beginning of you coming out of the womb, taking your first breath on earth now. Right? Read on.
To fear the Lord is the beginning of she hath built an everlasting foundation with men, and she shall continue with their seed.
Right? That's talking about wisdom, and also talking about Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai being wisdom, the wisdom being Yahweh Shai, so one of the same thing. It says she hath built an everlasting foundation with men. That's exactly what Yahweh Shai did, man. He made that foundation, right, through the power of Yahweh Shem Shai, right? And it was built with men, right? Men of the Lord, holy men, godly men, right? Men of Yahweh Shem Shai, right? She has built an everlasting foundation with them, with men, and she shall continue with her seed, right? That's Yahweh Shai continuing. He's going to continue with us. He's going to continue with his nation, right? He's going to continue to build or have dominion over this earth with his nation of people. That's why we're God's chosen people, right? Read on.
She have built the everlasting foundation. To fear the Lord is fullness of wisdom, and filleth man with her fruits.
So the fear of the Lord is the fullness of wisdom. You begin to have a fullness of wisdom, right? The acts of knowledge and understanding when you fear the Lord. And filleth man with her fruits, her attributes, right? The things that come with wisdom, right? All the rewards that came from fearing the Lord, right? Those are her fruits, man. And it filleth the men of the Lord, right? That's why a lot of the times when we out there on the highways and byways and we bringing up the scriptures, amen, the knowledge is spewing up, man, right? The truth is spewing out, just like it says in Psalms chapter 85, man, right? Through the fullness of wisdom, the Most High filleth us with her fruits, man, right? And you should always need to tap into those fruits, right? It's the fruits of the spirit, man, right? The wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that the Most High has given you, right? Everybody has a purpose in this truth, but it comes from the wisdom that the Most High God put on you, right? Sometimes in certain brothers and sisters, the Most High puts more knowledge in them than you, right? And even at that time, that's a humbling, that should humble you down. Hey, let me listen to this person, right? Let me grab as much wisdom as I can from this person, right? Our elders, man, got much wisdom. Why? Because it came from the Lord, right? It was filled with them with her fruits, man. Being in this truth for so long, and you kind of know how things are going on, right? You're able to teach people. You're able to show people what you know and give them the wisdom that you have from Yahweh Shem Shah, right? So verse number 17, right?
He filleth all their house with things desirable, and the garners with her increase.
She filleth all their house with things desirable, and the gardeners with her increase, no? Right? She filleth all their house with things desirable. The things that Israelites desire, right, is what she fills it with, right? Fills her house with, or their house with, right? Where does our house sit? With the Lord, no? Right? He prepares a place for us, no? Right? So she filleth all their house with things desirable. The things that Hebrew Israelites desire are what we had of old now, right? Our land, right? Our land with houses now, right? Having cattle, vineyards, right? Having our children there now. Those are the things that an Israelite should be desiring. Even a desirable thing is to rule over these nations now, right? Walking and treading upon our enemies now, right? Being above all people on the earth again, right? Those are the things that are desirable unto an Israelite, and that's the things that wisdom fills you with, right? That's why we always meditate on the kingdom, how things will be there. Even having holy convocations, man, right? Coming together on the high and holy days, that's almost like a glimpse to the kingdom, right? Those are desirable things. Even wanting to see certain people in the kingdom with you, those are desirable things, and the wisdom of the Lord fills you with those desires, right? Read on.
The fear of the Lord is a crown of wisdom, making peace and perfect health to flourish, both which are the gifts of Yahweh, and it enlargeth their rejoicing that love him.
So that crown of wisdom, it makes peace and perfect health to flourish, right? With any health complications that anybody have, with the wisdom that they have, the Most High causes your health to flourish. It makes it better, right? Let's go to Wisdom of Solomon, right? Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 12 and verse number 16. All right.
This is the Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 12 and verse 16.
Salakia, Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 16 and verse number 12.
Yeah, the back. This is the book of the Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 16 and verse 12. For it was neither herb nor mollifying plaster that restored them to health, but thy word, O Lord, which healeth all things.
Right. So it's the word of the Lord that heals all things. It's not the mollified plaster, right? That mollified plaster, when you get into it or you go into those definitions, it's a mixture of chemicals that makes a medicine, right? That's a lot of the times what your pharmacy is, right? It's none of the certain liquids that they give you, the chemicals that they give you, the pills that they give you that restores you to health. The word of the Lord will always restore you back to a perfect health. So back when it says in Sirach to chapter 1 and verse 18, it says the fear of the Lord is a crown of wisdom, making peace and perfect health to flourish. That crown of that crown of wisdom that comes from the Lord is the word of the Lord, right? Which is Yahushua, right? And that's what makes us, Yahushua makes us have peace and perfect health, right? Through him, we're able to do what we do. Through him, we're able to speak out against the wicked of the so-called white man of these other nations, man, right? Through him, we have peace and perfect health, right? So with Yahushua not being here physically, right? Where else can we find Yahushua? In the scriptures. So through the scriptures, you get perfect health and you're made peace, man, right? And it's through nothing else. That's why you need the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the Lord, because it'll make you flourish, right? It will let's go to Joshua chapter 1,
Hey,
right?
Shalaki
Joshua
King.
chapter 1 and verse 8. Bring it up.
Shalaki. Precept Isaiah 58 and verse 8.
Let's bring that up real quick. Isaiah chapter 58 and verse 8 up.
Khan.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 58. Oh, slide. Taking a little time right here. Verse 58 and verse 8. Then shall thy light break forth as the morning, and thine health shall spring forth speedily, and thy righteousness shall go before thee. The glory of the Lord shall be thy reward.
Break it down, Shemai.
Yeah, like you're talking about where health really comes from, right? It tells you that your health is going to break forth speedily. And this is going into the type of fasting that the Most High wants from us, right? It's not the fasting about, doing, fasting, you're going to have powers over your brothers. You're going to be more powerful than them. It's about humbling yourself to the Most High, doing what He says, going into that time of prayer and fasting, feeding the hungry and doing those things, clothing the naked. And it tells you your health is going to break forth speedily, right? So the scripture that you brought out before is talking about how your health is going to come out, but this is also showing how your health is going to come out when you humble yourself, because fasting is afflicting your soul, right? And afflicting your soul and humbling yourself, taking a heart of stone and making it a heart that's soft to receive what the Most High got for you, man, it's going to affect even your health on a major level. All praises, man. I yield.
Con. With fasting, and that's crazy you say that, right? Because a brother was going through certain complications and he ended up doing a fast for over, I believe it was 16 days, trying to hit a 21-day fast. And he was having certain complications. He ended up fasting for X amount of days. And the complications that he was having with the brother's arm, it disappeared now. That's how strong fasting can get. When you feeling down, when you feeling even depressed, if you feeling physically destroyed, man, right? Fast, right? Fasting is one of the strongest weapons on earth, man, right? Fasting is what gets you ready for a lot of things, and it even heals your body, right? And I've seen it through a brother, man, right? So it's a that's a good point, man. Through fasting and making atonement for yourself, right? It'll build you up, right? It will increase you in wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, and even in physicalities, man. It will build you up. So that's a good point, Shemaya. right? Let's go to Joshua chapter 1, right? And I believe verse number 8.
This is the book of Joshua, chapter 1 and verse 1.
Verse number 8.
Can I be heard?
Con, you could be heard. Are you hear me?
I don't know, y'all got low on it.
Oh, yeah, turn up your phone.
Now, my phone going dead. I might need to read it for like 3 minutes and my phone going dead. This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. For then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success.
Right. So when I was tying that into Sirach chapter 1 in verse number 18, right? When it says the fear of the Lord is a crown of wisdom, making peace and perfect health to flourish, right? Both which are the gifts of God, and it enlargeth their rejoicing that love him, right? That's in a way that's making you successful, right? When you have that crown of wisdom, when you have that crown of wisdom, it enlarges your rejoicing, right? It makes perfect your peace and your health, man, right? When you have that wisdom or wisdom of the Lord in general. So when it says in Joshua chapter 1 and verse 8, this book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. For then thou shalt make thy ways prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success. So with you meditating in the scriptures day in and day out, right, day and night, right, meditating constantly, you're gaining wisdom. And through that gaining wisdom, you become successful. You become prosperous in your ways, man. And that's how we all should be wanting to be, right? Prosperous in all our ways, man. You might be asking yourself, hey, to be better, a better reader, a better teacher, a better counselor, man. Through all those things that you want, you have to have wisdom of it, man. And that wisdom comes from the Lord, but you have to meditate therein day and night, man. You have to meditate in the things that you want to do, right? Or that you want to bring forth for your nation, man. Because at the end of the day, it's about serving Yahweh Shemel Shah, right? Serving your nation, man. Right? Serving your people, right? So let's go back to Sirach. Or Yazian, you good on the mic, or you need another reader?
No, I'm good. I've made it to my charge in time.
Oh, praise. Right, let's go to Sirach, chapter 1, and read verse number 19.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 1 and 19. Wisdom reigneth down skill and knowledge of understanding, standing and exalteth them that honor, that hold her fast.
So wisdom reigneth down skill and knowledge of understanding, right? So wisdom is what gives you the skills and knowledge and understanding, right? So like it. Right, come. So like it. Right? So wisdom gives you your skills and knowledge, right? So without having wisdom, right? Without having wisdom, you're not gonna have as much skill and understanding, right? Or skill and knowledge, right? You're in need of skill and knowledge, right? Especially when it comes from the Lord. All right. So let's read on that.
Verse 20. The root of wisdom is to fear the Lord, and the branches thereof are long life.
Right. So the root of wisdom is to fear the Lord. So the start of wisdom is for you to fear the Lord, man. You need to fear the Lord, man. Right? Because with coming and fearing the Lord, it comes from those branches. Those branches are of long life, right? It calls you to have a longer life, right? Let's go to Psalms, or no, Select it. Let's go to Proverbs chapter 3, right? Proverbs chapter 3 and verse uh 2.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 3 and verse 2. For a
Read
length
verse
of
number,
days.
Select it. Read verse number 1. Select it.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 3. My son, forget not my law, but let thine heart keep my commandments.
Right? So don't forget the law of the Lord. Read on.
For length of days and long life and peace shall they add to thee.
So with having the knowledge and understanding of the law, it causes you to have a longer life. Length of days, longer life, and peace shall they add to thee. So you're adding time on your clock, right? You're adding more peace to your life, right? When you have the knowledge or understanding or even the wisdom of the law, man. Everything will turn back to the law of the Lord, man. Whether it comes down to wisdom or anything that's coming out of the scriptures, it's gonna boil down to the law, right? Because that's what's being taught. That's something that the Israelites hold on to show forth their wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, because it's by the laws that we are governed by, right? So let's go back to Sirach, right? Sirach chapter 1 and verse number 20.
This is Sirach 1 and 20. The root of wisdom is to fear the Lord, and the branches thereof are long life.
Right? So the branches that come from the fear of the Lord causes you to have a long life. Read on.
The fear of the Lord driveth away sins, and where it is present, it turneth away wrath.
Right? So wherever the fear of the Lord, right, or even the law of the Lord, right, because that's what stems from the fear of the Lord, you keeping the laws. So the fear of the Lord driveth away sins. How are your sins gonna just wash away? By the works that you do, by the faith that you show, right? So with you showing faith is by your works. So your work, right, is of keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. So that's what drives away sins, which is also the fear of the Lord. The fear of the Lord and keeping law, statutes, and commandments go hand in hand, right? And where it is present, it turneth away wrath, right? So with you fearing the Lord, it turns away his wrath that comes onto the earth, right? Everything that's coming to pass, all the prophecies, all of the destruction that's coming to America was not made for the righteous. It was made for the wicked, man, right? So as long as you have the fear of the Lord, right, it's going to drive away the wrath of the Lord, man, right? That's coming upon America, right? Read on.
Uh, a furious man cannot be justified, for the sway of his fury shall be his destruction.
Right? Read on.
A patient man will tear for a time, and afterward joy shall spring up unto him.
Right? Read on.
He will hide his words for a time, and the lips of many shall declare his wisdom.
Right. So a furious man's anger is his destruction, right? That's what it's getting into, right? A furious man anger is his destruction. So anytime a man wants to get raised up in his fury, something that's more than anger, it causes him to sin, man. And that sin, ultimately, when it gets done with that person, it causes them to die, right? So the fear or a furious man cannot be justified. For the sway of his fury shall be his destruction. The way he moves, the way he goes about things, a furious man, that causes him to be destroyed, man. Right? Let's get Proverbs chapter 22 and verse number 24.
This is Proverbs 22 and 24. And it reads, make no friendship with an angry man, and with a furious man thou shalt not go.
Right? So make no friendship with an angry man, right? We the reason of not making a friendship or having friendships with an angry man is because A lot of the times they can do something that could destroy you. They could put you in bad positions, right? And with a furious man, thou shalt not go. You can't go with a furious man because he might slip up. A lot of times, even in the world, right, it'll be said about you can't think when you're angry, right? So when you're with an angry person, they can cause you to go off. They can cause you to do something that goes against the laws of the Lord. They can cause you to get out of your body. Now you out of the spirit. Now you're thinking of and having wicked thoughts, man. Right? So you can't go forward or even be friends with a furious man. Because why? A furious man's anger is his destruction. Right? Let's go to Proverbs chapter 29 and verse number 22.
This is Proverbs 29 and 22. An angry man stirreth up strife, and a furious man aboundeth in transgression.
You don't want to be around people like that, man. Right? An angry man stirs up strife, and a furious man aboundeth in transgression. Huh? With a furious man, like I was saying, a furious man's anger is his destruction. And with a furious man, he abounds in transgression. Huh? Right? So if you're going to walk around or even be around furious men, right, you're going to die right along with them, huh? Because they're abounding in transgression. And after all that transgression, right, when it leads up to the heavens, they will be destroyed. That's why the scriptures tell you, right? Sirach chapter 1 in verse number 22, right? A furious man cannot be justified, for the sway of his anger shall be his destruction. The sway of his fury. How he goes about things, right? Is he really using wisdom? Are you, think about it, right? Even within yourself, are you a lot of the times using wisdom when you're furious, right? When you're angry, are you really thinking about what you want to do or what you're going to do when you're angry? A lot of our people got anger problems, man, right? They can't never turn it down, right? You don't have to be angry always. You don't want to be that one person, right, at new moon sitting there with a mean mug, right? You saluting your brothers and your sisters with a mean mug, man. Almost like you ain't happy to see your people, man. There's a time for everything, right? But there's not a time for you to be furious, man. There's a difference between an angry man and a furious man. A furious man don't care about nothing. A furious man always he always want to get down with the get down, no matter if it's big or small, man. Right? He want to get into everything. Right? You can't be one of those people. Neither are you supposed to be around those certain people. No. Right? So let's get Sirach chapter 28 and verse number 28 real quick.
Hey,
This is
Shalaki, so
Somebody says Salakia.
yeah, Khan. Yeah, that anger and fury is really, like you said, really a real thing for our people, man. You know, especially a lot of time for men who are raised only by women, they act as an adult now, they act with all emotions, right? They, you know, you can't say nothing to them. You know, you can't talk them down, right? Their anger controls everything, right? A lot of young kids right now, yo, a nigga disrespect me, yo. I can't let that go, right? People getting killed because you looked at somebody too hard, right? And well, why you gotta be looking at me? Why you looking at me? Hey, man, because you're a king, you know. But they just got insecure anger, you know, inside of them. The scripture tells you anger is um bound in the heart of a fool, right? You can't let that anger control you. And a lot of our people are letting that anger control them, man. So that's a really important thing you just said there, man. So yeah, you.
Con. Yeah, that anger or that furiousness that our people will have inside them can steer you in the wrong direction, man. Right? Because a lot of times when you getting angry, you being furious, man, you're not using wisdom. You're not thinking, right? And then when you act out on something through anger, now when you kind of calm down and you really thinking about your actions, now you regret it now, right? That's why it's a time for everything now, right? And even this is the time to think, to gain wisdom now, right? Best believe when, hey, we're the fishermen, right? But when them hunter comes through, hey, they gonna be angry, man, right? Busting through everything, right? Searching out all the wickedness, right? But as being a fisherman, we can still be angry based off the oppression that's going through, but we can't be furious, man. Because when you become furious, you're not thinking for real, right? You might not even think about your nation no more. Is why you walking around being furious, man. Now you acting crazy against a sister or a brother, man. Right? You can't be that person, right? You gotta move with wisdom, right? A lot of things our people would do, they would eliminate themselves with doing the things that they're doing. They would eliminate wisdom. Wisdom shall not enter into a malicious soul, Salakia, right? So it's important to kind of sit back, watch, examine yourself, man, right? Use wisdom most of the time of your life, man. If not every time of your life, use wisdom, especially when it's the wisdom of the Lord. You can't go wrong with using the wisdom of the Lord, man. Right? So let's go back to Sirach, right? Sirach chapter 28 and verse number 8.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 28, and verse 8. Abstain from strife, and thou shalt diminish thy sins, for a furious man will kindle strife.
So a furious man will kindle strife, right? Knowing a furious man, they could come up with any idea just to start a fight, man. Just to just to start a battle, right? You don't want to be that person because you might be starting the wrong. You might be starting to fight with the wrong people, man. All right, you might be starting to fight with the wrong people. You always want to be prepared in what you're doing. So in being prepared, you have to use your mind. In other words, you have to use wisdom to be prepared for a lot of things that's going on in this earth, man. You need to use wisdom, right? With coming with wisdom has discernment, a good judgment. If you're not using wisdom, you can't really think. You can't really judge righteously if you're not using wisdom. That's why with our elders having so much wisdom, they're able to judge things in righteousness, judge things righteously because they're using wisdom. No matter how bad the situation might be, they're not gonna get up and furious, no, right? They have to stay with a upright mind, using wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. So in them same ways, we should be walking in them same ways, man. We should be walking around with wisdom. A lot of things that's going on within even the nation wouldn't be going on if we walk in with wisdom. We have to have wisdom in these last days, man. Right? If you don't get it now, shoot, you better pray that you get it now, man. That you get the wisdom of the Lord, right? Because you don't want to follow with certain categories of people. And the ones that we're talking about is that furious man. Because what a furious man kindles strife. Always gonna have something going on, right? And a lot of times it's gonna be on the left hand side. So you have to have that certain type of discernment to judge who that person is and if you should be around them. You got to make righteous judgment, right? So let's go back to Sirach, chapter 1. Sirach, chapter 1. You hear me out? And
It's a
yes,
lot.
again.
It's a lot.
Let's go back to Sirach, chapter 1.
I like to choke. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 1. And we
Start at
left
verse
off.
number 23.
Salakia.
Right at the
A patient man will tear from a time So like it.
Yeah.
And afterward, joy shall spring up unto him.
Right. So a patient man will tarry for a time. So everybody has a breaking point now. As patient as you are, right, you can only be patient for a time. A patient man is only going to tarry for a time. And afterward, joy shall spring up unto him. Why is joy going to spring up unto him? Because that person understands there's a time for everything. There's a time to talk. There's a time to shut up. Right? There's a time to be angry. There's a time not to be angry. Right? There's a time to be sorrowful. There's a time to rejoice, man. Right? So afterward, joy shall spring up unto him because that person is going to have a certain type of wisdom. That patient man is going to have a certain type of wisdom of knowing Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter, knowing there's a time of every purpose under the heavens. Right? So read verse number 24.
God. He will hide his words for a time, and the lips of many shall declare his wisdom.
Right, read on.
God. The parables of knowledge are in the treasures of wisdom, but godliness is an abomination to a sinner.
Right. So the parables of knowledge are in the treasures of wisdom. Those parables of knowledge is the smart sayings, the deep breakdowns of that knowledge is the treasures of wisdom. We should all want the treasures of wisdom, man. Right? Knowing the deep things in the scriptures, man. Knowing knowing more than enough, man. Right? At a point of time, there's always a milk and then there's a meat, man. A lot of the times you're gonna be weaned from it and brought to know the meat. So when you become to having the knowledge of the meat, right, you have a different type of mind. In other words, you have a different type of wisdom, right? So the parables of knowledge are in the treasures of wisdom. So everybody has to find that treasure of wisdom. And just so happen, hey, a lot of elders in this truth got it, man. They know the treasures of wisdom. And with knowing that treasures of wisdom, they're supposed to supply that wisdom to their people, right? But godliness is an abomination to a sinner, right? Let's go to Proverbs chapter 29 and verse number 27, right? Because it says, but godliness is an abomination to a sinner. So the things that a righteous person would do would be disgusting to a sinner, right? That goes with let's say for example, Pastor Pig Knuckles, right? Love the pork. We rebuke him, give him correction, exhort him, tell him to hey, you gotta stop eating that pork according to the scriptures, right? That sinner, a lot of the times, gonna think that the wisdom that you just gave him is something that's not needed, or a lot of times they like to say it's a blasphemy, it's a lie, right? In other words, they would consider it an abomination not to stop or to stop eating pork, as I would say. So that's just a quick example of this scripture being proven, but godliness is an abomination to a sinner. Everything a righteous person does, the sinner thinks it's the wrong way, right? They're going to always think the things on the left-hand side is the right way. But everything to a righteous person, we think that the right things are on the right hand of the Lord, right? So bring out Proverbs chapter 29 and verse number 27 out.
This is the book of Proverbs 29 and 27. An unjust man is an abomination to the just, and he that is upright in the way is an abomination to the wicked.
So this is saying the exact same thing as Sirach chapter 1, right? This is saying the exact same thing as Sirach chapter 1 and verse 25, right? An unjust man is an abomination to the just, and he that is upright in the way is an abomination to the wicked. So the things that the wicked are doing, of course, the righteous are not going to love. We think that the righteous think that sinner, everything that the sinner is doing is an abomination, and everything that a sinner is doing, or everything that the righteous is doing, the sinner thinks is an abomination, right? And everything that the sinner is doing, the righteous think it's an abomination. So that's where it's getting into with the scripture saying that there's two and two, right? There's a spiritual and there's a physical. There's a good and there's a bad. There's a righteous and an unrighteous, right? There's a two and two. So it's an unjust man and a just man. They both think each other are an abomination. So Proverbs chapter 29 and verse number 27 is saying the exact same thing as Sirach chapter 1 and verse number 25, right? So let's go back to Sirach chapter 1 and read verse number 26.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 1, and verse 26. If thou desire wisdom, keep the commandments, and the Lord shall give her unto thee.
So if thou desire wisdom, keep the commandments, and the Lord shall give her unto thee. That's plain upon tables, man. Right? Keep the commandments of the Lord so that you can obtain wisdom, right? So that you can have wisdom. Everybody should want wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that is of the Lord, man. Right? So in order to get those things, you continue to pray, oh, how do you get wisdom? Hey, this is the answer, man. Keep the commandments of the Lord. It's so simple. Keep the commandments of the Lord. You will gain the wisdom that you desire, man. The knowledge and understanding that you desire. You will have all these things, everything that you desired, if you were to just keep the commandments of the Lord and stay diligent in doing it. Right? Let's go to James chapter 1 and verse number 5.
This is the book of James, chapter 1, and verse 5. If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of Yahweh, that giveth to all men liberally, and upbraideth not, and it shall be given him.
So if any man lacks wisdom, let him ask God, right? So the Most High God will give you wisdom if you would just ask for it, man. Right? If you would just ask the Lord, hey, Yahweh Shemel Shai, please provide me with wisdom, hey, he'll give it to you. But you have to keep the commandments as well, man. In order for your wisdom to continue to build up each and every day, each and every year, you must keep the commandments, man. That's why every time, every year, you have more wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Why? Because you're keeping the commandments and you're staying diligent in doing so. It's very important that we keep the commandments, man. Because if you ever wanted wisdom, that's how you get it. It's through asking Yahweh Shemel Shai and keeping his law, statutes, and commandments. Right? So let's go to Sirach chapter 1 and verse number 27. Now.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 1 and 27. For the fear of the Lord is wisdom and instruction, and faith and meekness are his delight.
Right. So it says, for the fear of the Lord is wisdom and instruction. Huh? Right. So with fearing the Lord comes wisdom and instruction. We all know we got to follow what the Lord tell us to do. Right. So you have to follow after the wisdom and instruction that he has given you. Right. The Most High gives you certain type of wisdom so that you will be able to go out in the world and be able to decipher certain things, man, to move in a righteous light. Right. That's why wisdom is given unto you. So for the fear of the Lord is wisdom and instruction. That's something that you need, man. So the fear of the Lord can give you a lot of things. The fear of the Lord has many rewards to it. But do you actually want those rewards, man? There's a lot of things, think about it like this. There's a lot of things that you're asking for in your prayers, and the Most High has already given it to you, man. Right? But it's through the wisdom that he's trying to give you. right? So let's go to Proverbs, right? Chapter 1. Proverbs chapter 1 and verse number 7.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 1 and verse 7. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction.
So the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. That's the first thing you should know, right? A lot of the times when you first came into the truth, for anybody that just came into the truth, you learned about the fear of the Lord, man. That's the beginning of the knowledge that you're going to have as you continue to move righteous in this truth, man. But fools despise wisdom and instruction. Fools despise wisdom and instruction. So in Sirach chapter 1 and verse 27, it says, "For the fear of the Lord is wisdom and instruction." Right? There's people out here that hate the fear of the Lord, man. Especially when the fear of the Lord is wisdom and instruction. Only a fool would despise wisdom and instruction. You will have to be a fool to not fear the Lord, man. Wisdom and instruction and the fear of the Lord go hand in hand. It's basically the same thing, man. Right? So we do need the fear of the Lord. We do need wisdom and instruction because that with wisdom and instruction, that is exactly what governs a nation, man. Right? Through wisdom and instruction. Right? So let's read on now. Sirach chapter 1.
And this is the book of Sirach, chapter 1, verse 28. Distrust not the fear of the Lord when thou art poor, and come not unto him with a double heart.
So when you're in a low estate, you still want to trust in the Lord, man. Right? Almost every single Israelite will be brought down into a low estate. But that doesn't mean that you distrust the Lord, man. You keep your trust in the Lord even when you're poor, man. And it says, and come not unto him with a double heart. Right, let me get Psalm chapter 14 and verse number 6.
This is the book of Psalms 14 and 6. Ye have shamed the counsel of the poor, because the Lord is his refuge.
Right? So there are people out here that put shame on the counsel of the poor, man. Right? A lot of the times a poor man or a poor woman can give you wisdom, man. There's some things that they have seen that you haven't seen. There's some things that they have experienced that you haven't experienced. Right? But there's some people that bring the shame, the counsel of the poor, because the Lord is their refuge, because the Lord is their help, because the Lord is their house, man. The Lord is the one that protects them, right? If you want to be honest, almost every Israelite is poor, man. Almost every Israelite is poor, right? Because we're in captivity, man, right? Being in captivity, we're going to be poor, right? But we know that the Lord is our refuge. The Lord is the one that's going to save us. The Lord is the one that houses us, man. The Lord is the one that puts the wisdom into our mind on how to do certain things in this life, man. All right? So let's go back to Sirach, chapter 1, and read verse number 28 again.
This is the book of Sirach 1 and 28. Distrust not the fear of the Lord when thou art poor, and come not unto him with a double heart.
All right? So let's get Psalm chapter 34 and verse number 6. All right? Distrust not the fear of the Lord when thou art poor, right? And come not unto him with a double heart. Bring that out.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 34, and verse 6. The poor man cried, and the Lord heard him and saved him out of all his troubles.
Right? So this poor man cried and the Lord heard him. Why did the Lord hear him? Because the Lord is a poor man's refuge. Man. So the Most High is going to hear a poor man's cry, man. Right? Because a poor man has the most supplication, the most crying out, man. Right? You don't want to be too comfortable in this truth, man. Because when you become too comfortable in this truth, and now you feel like you ain't got to pray for certain things, you ain't got to ask for certain things. You feel like you got it all already, man. Right? Always keep that humble mindset, right? we are still in a lower state. It don't matter how high you get in this world, man. Right? Still think of yourself to be in a lower state because the Most High hears the poor man's cry, man. Because he is that person's refuge. And it says, and save him out of all his troubles, man. Israelites nowadays should be, if you, you should be going through something, right? While you in this truth. If you're not going through something while you in this truth, hey, man, you might have to find out, who your father is for real, man. Because everybody's going to go through something in this truth, man, right? If with you being in a lower state, the Most High is going to save you out of your troubles, man. Everybody that came into the truth has most likely been brought down to a lower state, but then has been lifted up because the Most High has saved them, because the Most High heard that person's cry, man, right? The Most High heard their supplication, right? Heard their confessions, man, and helped them, became that person's refuge, man. That's how we have to stay in that humble mindset, man, right? Never try to shame the poor man's or poor person's advice or counsel that they give you, man. Right? You kind of got to just listen because they could be moving in the spirit, man. Something that you needed to hear, right? So let's go back to Sirach chapter 1. Or Salakia. Go to Psalm chapter 113 and verse number 7.
This is the book of Psalms 113 and 7. He raiseth up poor out of the dust and lifteth the needy out of the dunghill.
Right. So this is what happens to you if you keep your trust in the Lord, man. He raises up the poor out of the dust and lifts up the needy out of the dunghill. So he takes you out of that lower state and he puts you up high, man. That's how we all should be wanting to be, right? But you have to keep that humble mindset, right? You have to walk diligently in keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments, right? You have to continue to want to learn each and every day something new, man, or even going through what you already know, right? It don't matter how many times you done read your Bible from front to back, you should still be getting into it now, right? You should still be one that, hey, let me read the law again, right? Let me read the book of Jeremiah again, right? Let me read the book of Jonah, see what I get out of that again, right? You're gonna get something different out of everything that you already read, man. There's much knowledge in this truth, and you're not gonna have 100% of the knowledge, man. Right? You're not gonna have 100% of the knowledge. That's why everybody was placed in a certain line. Another brother knowing the milk. Another brother might be into the prophecies. Another brother might be the one telling the times of the high and holy days, man. Right? These are the certain laws that the Most High has put our people in, right? By the wisdom that He has given them, right? So you always want to continue to try to learn, continue to try to gain something each and every day, right? Because you're never gonna know everything, right? But you want to continue to learn each and every day, right? And it might come from somebody younger than you. It might come from somebody older than you. You got to keep yourself humble and always be willing to learn because that's who we go out for. Every brother that goes out on the highways and byways, we want those that seek learning. Real quick, right? Let's get Sirach, right? Chapter 24 and verse 34.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 24. And you say 34?
Huh.
Behold, that I have not labored for myself only, but for all them that seek wisdom.
Right. So for the brothers that go out on the highways and byways, we don't do this laboring just for ourselves. We do it for those that are seeking wisdom, huh? That want to learn and gain wisdom of Yahweh Shem Shai, right? That want to know more about their people, right? Want to know more about themselves, and ultimately want to know more about their God, huh? The God of Israel, right? Let's go to Sirach, chapter 33 and verse number 7.
This is the book of Sirach, 33 and 7
Salakia 17.
and 17, Salakia. Consider that I labored not for myself only, but for all them that seek learning.
So this scripture is saying the same exact scripture as Sirach chapter 24 and verse 34, man. Right? We don't go out there to labor for ourselves only, but for all of them that seek wisdom. Right? In Sirach chapter 24 and verse 34, the word, they use the word wisdom. But in Sirach chapter 33 and verse number 17, they said learning. Right? That's who we're out on the highways and byways for them that are seeking to learn. Right? So you should always want to seek learning. As being a teacher, you either got to be some students, man. Right? And those students should be just sitting there, wanting to learn, wanting to gain the wisdom that the teacher may have, man. Right? So never get tired of learning. Right? Never get tired of gaining more wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Right? Never get tired of it, because as soon as you get tired of it, hey, now you're decreasing while being in the truth, right? You're decreasing in the truth when you want to stop learning now. This truth is all about learning. We have to learn about the mistakes that our forefathers made so that we won't make them. We have to learn on how to be a leader. The sisters have to learn on how to teach another sister, man, how to give counsel about this, how to give counsel about that, man. This truth is all about learning. Right? So never get tired of learning or wanting to gain wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Right? So let's go back to Sirach chapter 1. All right? Sirach chapter 1 and read verse number 28.
29. Oh,
Read verse 28 again.
distress not the fear of the Lord when thou art poor, and come not unto him with a double heart.
So like, you don't want to come unto the Lord with a double heart, having a double mind, saying, I miss Christmas, but I want to celebrate feast of dedication. That's having a double mind, man. Oh, I kind of want to two-step at. I want to go back to church and kind of do the happy feet dance, but then you want to come to Shabbat class, right? That's having a double mind. You got one foot in this truth and one foot in the world, right? And that's being lukewarm. And what did the Most High God say about them lukewarm people, man? He was going to spew you out, right? So you don't want to be one of those people that have a double heart or a double mind, right? Let's go to James chapter 1 and verse number 8.
Hey, Shalaki King.
Come on, bring it out.
Imagine celebrating Hanukkah and Christmas at the same time. You got a Christmas tree and a menorah.
Yo, man.
That is serious double-minded. Like, man, I just love celebrating celebrations. You know, you got the Christmas tree with the Santa Claus and the reindeer, plus you got the Hanukkah and the menorah and all of that stuff going on. You lighting the candles as well. Man, that's double-minded right there.
God, now, them the type of things that will get you destroyed in these last days, man. Right? You can't serve the false gods of this world and serve Yahweh Shem Shai. You gotta pick. You gotta pick who you want to serve, man. Right? Real quick, right? Real quick, before we get James chapter 1 and verse number 5, let's get Joshua chapter 24, right? Chapter 24 and verse number 19.
This is the book of Joshua, chapter 24, and verse 19. And Joshua said unto the people, Ye cannot serve the Lord, for he is an holy God. He is a jealous God. He will not forgive your transgressions nor your sins.
All right, read on.
If ye forsake the Lord and serve strange gods, then he will turn and do you hurt and consume you. After that, he hath done you good.
Right. So being a double-minded person, right? If you want to serve the gods of the world instead of the God of Israel, Yahweh Shem Shai, Hey, the Most High say he gonna do you hurt and consume you, right? That's what happens to a double-minded man or even a double-minded woman, right? He's gonna destroy you, man. He's gonna bring you hurt. You wonder why you can't catch a break. You wonder why you keep on ending up in the hospital, man, because you being double-minded, you being lukewarm, man, right? You're being unstable, right? You're wanting to serve Yahweh Bashem Yahshai and serve the damn devils of America, man. Right? You can't do that. You got to choose you this day who you are going to serve, man. Right? So let's go to James chapter 1 and verse number 8.
This is the book of James, chapter 1, verse James chapter 1 and verse 8. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways.
And hey, man, that's playing upon tables, man. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways, man. Right? So if you two-stepping in this truth, man, you're considered unstable, man. That's a damn illness, man. Right? You kind of need to be built up, right? You don't want to be that unstable person in all their ways, man. Because when you're unstable, now these spirits can hop on you. Now your household not safe, man. Right? Now you can't lead properly. Sisters, you can't follow properly because you double-minded, man. And you're unstable. What makes you stable is the words of Yahweh Shemel Shah, is the examples that Yahweh Shah left us, man. Right? Everything that comes out of the scriptures is gonna make you stable, man. But with being a double-minded man, you're unstable, right? You going whichever way, man. You getting tossed to and fro. You going into different genealogies, all these different books, man, and you slowly becoming a bug out, man. Right? You do not want to be in that category of a double-minded man because that person is unstable, man. Right? So let's go to James chapter 4 in verse number 8.
This is James chapter 4 and verse 8. Draw nigh to God, and he will draw nigh to you. Cleanse your hands, ye sinners, and purify your hearts, ye double-minded.
Right, so you want to, if you're double-minded, these are the type of things that you should be doing. Right? If you feel yourself two-stepping in this truth, these are the things that you should be doing, man. Draw nigh unto God, and he will draw nigh unto you. Cleanse your hands, ye sinners, and purify your hearts, man. How do you cleanse your hands? Right? Let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter 7 and verse number 1.
This is the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 7 and verse 1. Now concerning the things whereof ye wrote unto me.
Right, yeah. Right. Let's go to 2 Corinthians 7 and verse number 1.
Okay, this is 2 Corinthians chapter 7 and verse 1. Having therefore these promises, dearly beloved, let us cleanse ourselves from all filthiness of the flesh and spirit, perfecting holiness and the fear of Yahweh.
So this is a goal that everybody should be wanting to reach, right? Cleansing ourselves from all filthiness of the flesh and spirit, perfecting holiness in the fear of God, man. These are things that we're looking forward to. These are the goals that we set for ourselves, man, in cleansing the filthiness that are on our hands, right? So the question it still stands: how do we cleanse ourselves, man? Right? Let's go to John chapter 15 and verse number 3. All right, John chapter 15 and verse number 3. I think you're on mute up.
Salakia. This is John 15 and 3. Now ye are clean through the word which I have spoken unto you.
right? So Yahweh's words are what make you clean. The words of Yahweh Shem Yahshua are what make you clean. So to wash your hands of all the filthiness, right? You got to hearken unto the words of Yahweh Shem Yahshua, right? Let's go to Psalms chapter 119 and verse number 9.
And this is the book of Psalms 119 and verse 9, you say?
Con.
Yeah. 119 and verse 9. Beth, wherewithal shall a young man cleanse his way, by taking heed thereto according to thy word.
Right. So how do you cleanse yourself? How do you cleanse yourself of all filthiness? Right. You take heed unto the words of Yahweh Shem Yahshua. You follow after the examples that Yahweh Shai left you, right? You follow them with wisdom and instruction, man. Wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, right? You accept and receive the words that were given unto you and you apply them to your life. You cease to do evil, like it says in Isaiah chapter 1 and verse number 16, man. That's how you cleanse yourself of all filthiness, right? And that should be the goal of everybody if you do not want to be in that category of a double-minded man, right? Because they're unstable in all their doings, right? So let's go to Sirach chapter 1, right? And verse number 29.
This is the book of Sirach 1 and 29. Be not an hypocrite in the sight of men, and take good heed what thou speakest.
So be not an hypocrite in the sight of men and take good heed what thou speakest. So you got to watch what you say, man, right? You don't want to be telling somebody not to do something and behind closed doors you out here doing it. That's a hypocrite, right? So you're supposed to take heed of what thou speakest. You got to kind of watch your mouth, right? Let's go to Matthew chapter 6 and verse number 2.
This is the book of Matthew 6 and 2. Therefore, when thou doest thine alms, do not sound a trumpet before thee, as the hypocrites do in the synagogues and in the streets, that they may have glory of men. Verily I say unto you, they have their reward. That's in red letter.
Con, right? And that's a speech of Yahweh, man, right? Getting into those hypocrites in the synagogues of the streets, man. They it says that they may have glory of men. Really, I say unto you, they have the reward. So you don't want to be like a hypocrite, right? Because a hypocrite already has the reward and they want to just be seen by men, right? But we want to be seen of Yahweh Shemel Shai, man. Right? We want to put a smile on Yahweh Shemel Shai's face, man. Right? Telling us, Lord willing, hey, you've done a good job, man. Right? You have done a good service, man. Right? That we may make it into that salvation, having that seat in the chariot, man. You don't want to be like these hypocrites, man. Because even hypocrites are going to be destroyed in these last days. Right? So go to verse number 5 out.
Verse 5. And when thou prayest, thou shalt not be as the hypocrites are, for they love to pray standing in the synagogues and in the corners of the streets, that they may be seen of men. Verily I say unto you, they have their reward.
Right. So it's another hypocrite that want to pray in the streets, man. Want to just be seen of everybody. Everything that they praying for or praying about or exalting themselves even, a lot of times they doing something behind closed doors, man. And this is what makes them a hypocrite. They're telling people to not do certain things, but they do it themselves behind closed doors. You don't want to be that person because that person already has the reward, and that reward is going to be taken away from them by what way? Of destruction. The wrath of the Lord, man, right? it's not a righteous thing for you to be a hypocrite. You don't want to be one of those people that are hypocrites, man. Right? Because in these last days, the Most High is gonna kind of embarrass you, right? Because in a way, you're gonna start exalting yourself, and now the Most High got to bring you low, right? Let's go. Right. Let's go to Proverbs chapter 18 and verse number 21.
This is the book of Proverbs 18 and 21. And death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof.
So in Sirach chapter 1 and verse number 29, it tells you to take good heed of what thou speakest. Why do you have to watch what you say? Because death and life are in the power of the tongue. Right? You could basically put somebody to death just by the words that you give them, man. The words that you speaking, right? Those words can have lashes, man. Right? Destroying a person mentally, even physically at a lot of other times, man. Right? It could bring forth depression, even, right? Just by the words that you speak. That's why you want to take heed to what you speak or what you say. Take heed to what thou speakest. Because you don't want to try to put down nobody that is supposed to be built up in the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shah, right? And a lot of times you don't know who you're speaking to. You could be speaking to somebody that's very important in this truth, man, in the eyes of the Lord. You don't know the spirit that the Most High has on that person, man. You don't know if this person has the spirit of Job, man, right? The prophets of old, right? So you have to watch what thou speakest, because death and life is in the power of the tongue, right? Let's go to Matthew chapter 15. So like you, go ahead, King.
Yeah, and that goes into also the things that you speak over yourself. So you could say things to other people, yeah, and break them down in the spirit, but you could say things over yourself and destroy your own self, right? It says death and life is in the power of the tongue, and they that love death or they that love life shall eat the fruit thereof. So what you speak, whether it's life or whether it's death, creates a fruit, right? It creates a harvest. And if you keep speaking stuff about yourself, man, I'm always sick, man, I'm always broke, man, I ain't never have no money, I ain't got no friends, people don't like me, you know, I like being by myself. All of those things is going to come because you speak it into being.
Right.
Right? I'm not smart. I, so the things that you say over yourself is either going to be death or it's going to be life, and you got to choose which one you prefer, because whatever you speak is creating a harvest. And it didn't say you might eat the fruit thereof. You could eat the fruit thereof. If you want to, you eat the fruit, right? You will eat the fruit what you speak. So you got to be careful about that, man. Parents say things about their children, couples say things about each other, and these things is creating a harvest, man. I yield.
Ah, ah, that's a good point, right? So let's go back. Let's go to Matthew chapter 12, verse 35. Right? These are reasons why you have to watch what thou speakest, man. Right? Because that's a very dangerous thing. If you're not watching how you speak or what you even say at a point of time, hey, just bring that out. This is what's gonna happen.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 12, and verse 35.
Right.
A good man out of the good treasure of the heart bringeth forth good things, and an evil man out of the evil treasure bringeth forth evil things.
Right. That's right. Hold on. Salakia. Who's up? Salakia. Come on, bring it out. Read that again. Read verse 36. Lucky.
Come, but I say unto you that every idle word that men shall speak, they shall give account thereof in the day of judgment.
So it's very important that you watch what you say, because the things that come out of your mouth, you're gonna have to give an account of what you said in the day of judgment. And you can't lie to the Most High, man. Right? He gonna ask you, hey, what you say at this time? Why you say this? Why you say that? You can't lie to the Most High. You gotta confess it, right? And you're gonna be given an account thereof in the day of judgment. So either the things what you say, hey, a lot of times you want to bring people to life with that, man. You want to give them understanding. You want to give them knowledge, man. Right? You don't want to be tearing down your own people, man. You don't want to be beating on your people, man, even when they're at a lower state, because you're gonna be given account of you're gonna have to give an account of those things in the day of judgment, right? So you have to watch what you say, because this is why, right? You're gonna have to give an account of thereof in the day of judgment, right? Read on.
For by the words thou shalt be justified, and by the words thou shalt be condemned.
So by your words thou shalt be justified, and by thy words thou shalt be condemned. Your words is either gonna bring life to yourself or death to yourself, man. You're either gonna be condemned, brought down to death and destruction, or you're gonna be justified, made righteous, brought unto life, right? So you always want to watch what you say and how you say things to people, man, because you never know who you're speaking to, right? That's very important, right? Watch what thou speakest, right? So let's go to First Peter chapter 2 and verse number 1.
Did you say that
First,
again?
First Peter chapter 2 and verse number 1.
This is the book of First Peter, chapter 2 and verse 1. Wherefore, laying aside all malice and all guile and crisis and envies.
So like your hypocrisies are.
Hypocrisy is Salakia. Hypocrisy. I had to look at it for a second. And all evil speakings.
So these are the things that you're supposed to put away as when you put on that new man. When you put on that new man, you want to lay aside, like it says, all malice and guile and hypocrisies and envies and all evil speakings, man. You want to kind of change yourself in every aspect. The old you're supposed to think as, hey, that person died, man. The old you is dead. The new you is reborn, man. Became as a new babe, right? Like it says in verse number 2. Desiring the sincere milk of the word, right? You want to become that new babe, but with becoming that new babe, now you thinking different, you walking different, you talking different, you watching what you say. That's something that has to go on in Israel. Watch what you say, right? Because you don't want to, in these last days, you don't want to regret, oh, dang, I said that to this brother. Or I said that to this sister. I knew it was wrong, but I just got to keep moving forward. No, man. You wouldn't have to be guilty of what you say to somebody if you watch how you speak or you watch what you say to people, right? You got to remember, hey, man, these last days, man, you don't know where you going. You don't know if you're going to make it to the kingdom. And you don't know if you gonna get hit with the missiles, man. Right? So to be on the safer side of things, you gotta watch what you say, because you can either bring life or death to yourself by the things that you say, right? Especially if it's in righteousness, amen, by all means, say it, right? Because a lot of times when it's in righteousness, it's gonna bring life to that person. But if you want to say things on the left-hand side and wickedness in the world, amen, you're bringing yourself death. And not only yourself, but the person that you're talking to. So watch what thou speakest. All right, so let's go to Sirach, chapter 1 and verse number 30.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 1 and verse 30. Exalt not thyself, lest thou fall, and bring dishonor upon thy soul. And so Yahweh discover thy secrets, and cast thee down in the midst of the congregation, because thou camest not in truth to the fear of the Lord, but thy heart is full of deceit.
Right. So go to Proverbs chapter 27 and verse number 1. Right? Proverbs chapter 27 and verse number 1. It says, exalt not thyself, lest thou fall. You don't want to exalt yourself, right? Because when you exalt yourself, now that pride spirit gonna kind of get on you. And like it says, and bring dishonor upon thy soul, you'll bring shame to your own self. Why is shame gonna be on your own self? This is why. It says, and so God discover thy secrets. The Most High is gonna discover your secrets. He gonna search out what you doing behind closed doors and cast thee down in the midst of the congregation. Now he gonna show your true colors, man. Throughout the whole congregation, throughout the whole nation, man. The Most High would embarrass you if you try to exalt yourself. Because the only person you're supposed to be exalting, right? The only person you're supposed to be glorifying is Yahweh Bashem Al Shai, man. This truth is not about us, man. This truth ain't about none of us, man. This is about Yahweh Bashem Al Shai. Right? So if you want to exalt yourself, the Most High gonna bring you down low, and He gonna show you who you really are, man. Right? Nobody wants to be embarrassed, man. So just do what is told of you, of Yahweh Bashem Al Shai, man. And it says, because thou camest not in the truth to the fear of the Lord, but thy heart is full of deceit. You became a deceitful person when you try to exalt yourself, because now you playing a role that you're not, right? You trying to be somebody that you're not, man, right? This comes down to a humbling point where you got to humble yourself down, right? And, brothers, hey, we came up with some good phrases, man, HR Chicago. Keep brothers humble, man, right? And I think Gabar had one of the best ones, man, but I'll let him share that if he on her, right? But you don't want to exalt yourself, man. You always want to keep yourself humble, right? In a meek spirit, man, because that will get you into the kingdom, but that's going to do something else, right? That's going to teach other people that's watching you, because there's always somebody watching you. It don't matter how big or small you are. Somebody is watching you, and you have to lead by example. So if you want to lead a good example, and you got to stay humble in this thing, man. You don't want to exalt yourself, because the Most High will bring you low. Don't try to play a role that you're not, man. Lord, the Most High will show you who you truly supposed to be, man. Right? The Most High, if you come into this truth, wanting to fight all the time, man, right? Get into it with anybody, the Most High will humble you, show you, you was better off just staying quiet, right, and just doing your own thing, right, and staying humble. That's the most important thing. Brothers and sisters got to stay humble in these last days, especially with the times that we in. You got to stay humble in this thing. You got to continue to want to gain wisdom, knowledge, and understanding in these last days, man. Because wisdom, knowledge, and understanding is going to be the stability of thy times, like it says in Isaiah 33 in verse number 6. Right? So let's bring out that. Proverbs chapter 27 and verse number 1, and that be my last precept.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 27 and 1. Boast not thyself of tomorrow, for thou knowest not what a day may bring forth.
Right, so you don't want to boast yourself. This is talking about boast yourself for tomorrow, like thinking that tomorrow is promised to you already, when it's not. It says, for thou knowest not what a day may bring forth. So that goes back to you exalting yourself. You don't want to exalt yourself because you don't know what the future holds for you. You don't know what the future holds for you, man. You might exalt yourself so much in this truth, man, thinking you know everything, and now you're on the highways and byways teaching, and the damn Christian confound you, man, making you look bad in spiritual warfare with the scriptures, man. Right? You don't want to exalt yourself because it's always going to play bad, man. It's always going to play out bad. The end results of exhorting yourself or boasting yourself up will always be against you, man. So the best way to go about it in this truth is to stay humble, continue to gain more wisdom, knowledge, and understanding each and every day. You can't take days off in this thing, right? You have to keep going. You have to keep pushing forward. You have to continue to increase in this truth, right? If you not increasing in the truth, examine yourself, right? Step back and just watch. Think about what you're doing and make a change, man, right? Because we all need it in this truth. We all got to put our brick in. We all got to teach somebody something, right? So I hope this lesson was edifying, right? And most high will, everybody has a good more understanding of wisdom, why we have wisdom, what we must use it for, man. Right? Because hey, your wisdom is going to be tested in these last days. So everybody should be having a spiritual level up each and every day, each and every year. Right? So that's the end of the lesson. I praise you about Shemel Shah.
All praise.
So most high will, right? If nobody has anything else, right? I'll give everybody 30 seconds, and we'll be throwing up the Lord's Prayer.
Con, I just got a small precept.
Come on, bring it out, King.
Right here. The book of Ecclesiasticus, the book of Sirach, chapter 6 and verse 8. For some man is a friend to his own association, and will not abide in the day of the trouble, of thy trouble, Salaki.
Come on, bring it down, out.
Con, so being affiliated in your own association, man, you basically affiliated in your own sin, your own understanding, you know what I'm saying? And you will not be able to abide in the day of your trouble, which means you will not be able to have the protection or armor of Yahweh Bahashim Mashiach Yahweh Shai, you know what I'm saying, in the day of your trouble. So with you leaning on your own understanding and own association, you're gonna accompany the people who you associate with through your own understanding, if that make any sense.
Come
on.
Nah, yeah, you can't surround yourself with people like that, man. Right? Let's get real quick. Sirach chapter 5 and verse number 2. Right?
This is the book of Sirach 5 and 2. Follow not thine own mind and thy strength to walk in the ways of thy heart.
Right. So you don't want to lean onto your own understanding, like the brother was just showing, man, or what the brother was just saying. You don't want to lean onto your own understanding, and you don't want to accompany yourself with those same type of people that lean on their own understanding. Because when you lean onto your own understanding, you cause yourself to decay, right? And you will ultimately be destroyed because now you're following your own wisdom instead of the wisdom of Yahweh Shemel Shah. Right? And us being in the truth, we should never be trying to follow our own mind. We shouldn't be trying to follow our own opinions or follow after, or I feel like, no, right? It's all about the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of Yahweh Shemel Shah.
That's right.
So when you go based off your own understanding, now your judgment is off. You can't judge righteously now, right? You can't counsel, right? You can't give good advice, right? You shouldn't, hey man, you shouldn't even be out here really teaching if you moving and trying to lean off your own understanding. Right? Let's get Sirach chapter 3 and verse number 24.
Wow.
Sirach chapter 3 and verse number 24.
This is Sirach chapter 3 and verse 24. For many are deceived by their own vain opinion, and an evil suspicion have overthrown their judgment.
See? So for many are deceived by their own vain opinions. Throughout, that's why Israelites, when we teach, man, we don't use our own opinions, right? Because they're vain. They deceive people, and they can even deceive you when you go based off your own understanding, right? And it says, and an evil suspicion has overthrown their judgment. A lot of times when you lean on your own understanding, now you have evil suspicions. And you can't judge righteously if you're going based off those things, You can't judge righteously if you're going off your own understanding. Or I'm gonna do this alone, right? I'm gonna teach myself, right? You can't teach yourself. According to the scriptures, somebody is in need of teaching you.
That's right.
Every student has a teacher, man. Yahweh had a teacher, and that was the Most High God. Yahweh had a whole teacher, man. So you should never think that you don't need a teacher, right? To show you the way, to pave the way for you, right? So you should never go based off your own understanding, man. You have to be taught, and even with being taught, you go in and you fish out, hey, is this the truth, man? Every time I teach on the highways and byways, I tell them all the time, hey, I would encourage you to go back and read it for yourself, right? Even though the scriptures is being read out to you right here in front of you, I still want you to go back and read it for yourself to make it the truth, to see if I'm lying. That's something that I had to do when I first came into the truth. The brother that was teaching me, and I had to go in, right? I had to go into the scriptures myself and say, hey, did that actually say that? Let me go read for myself. And then boom, he was right. That's what every Israelite should be doing, because that's not leaning on your own understanding. Nobody should be leaning on their own understanding, because that takes away your righteous judgment, right? That takes away what of how you're supposed to be moving in righteousness. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 55 and verse number 8.
This is the book of Isaiah 55 and 8. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, saith the Lord.
Right. So our thoughts are not the Most High God's thoughts, and our ways are not the Most High God's ways. But as we walk in the ways of Yahweh Shemel Shai, we're like-minded as the Lord now. But if you're walking outside of the instructions or the wisdom or the ways of the Lord, and you're going against the Lord, right? And you're ultimately deceiving yourself now, right? And you're leaning onto your own understanding. So if you lean on to your own understanding, like the brother was saying, you can be destroyed by those things. And even if you accompany yourself around those people that lean onto what they think or what they feel things should be done, hey, you're going to be destroyed right along with them. Because for one, that'll be a double-minded person, especially if you being in the truth, right? And that's the person that's leaning onto their own understanding. Let's go to Proverbs chapter 3 and verse 5, the classic.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 5. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not to your own understanding.
That's plain upon tables. That's plain upon tables. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not to thy own understanding. The Lord is telling you not to lean onto your own understanding, man. Right? And you're supposed to put your trust in the Most High God. When you put your trust in the Most High God, you will never go by your own understanding, right? Because you're going to trust in the Lord. You're going to go based off what the Lord tells you. That's why a lot of times, hey, I don't want to hear what people say. I want to hear the scriptures. Hey, what the scriptures say. Because if your sayings or your speech doesn't go according to the scriptures, hey, that's off, man. And I can't believe a person like that. So when you are in this truth, you cannot lean onto your own understanding. You want to lean onto the understanding of Yahweh Shemel Shai. And with leaning onto the understanding of the Lord, you're gaining wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Right? So that's a good point from the brother, man. Right? Not leaning onto that own understanding. Right? When you don't lean onto your own understanding, you will gain wisdom. And this is what this topic is about, what this lesson is about. Gaining wisdom. What is wisdom, and who was it given to? Right? It was given to the Israelites. The wisdom is for you to know who you are, know the basics in this truth, know who you are, who your God is, who he is for. You need to know the law. Those are the certain type of wisdoms that you know when you first come into the truth. That's the milk. right?
Bring it out,
Gradually, when you continue to get deeper into this truth, hey, now you could digest the meat. Now you could get deeper into this thing, right? You said Salakia?
No, I said bring it out, Doc. You're going heavy right now, baby.
Khan, all praise to the Most High, man. All right, so this is exactly what this topic in this lesson is about. Wisdom. Everybody should be keen on gaining wisdom in these last days. You need to have wisdom in these last days. You need to know how to go about things in righteousness, man. And that only comes by the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of Yahweh Shema Shai. Right? So that will conclude the lesson. So if nobody else has questions or any statements to make, man, I give everybody 30 seconds to face the east so that we could throw up the Lord's Prayer. Con?
Doc. I had one more precept, but I'm gonna let you close out, Doc.
Con, bring it out, Doc.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 26 and verse 4. Answer not a fool according to his folly, lest thou also be like unto him. Con,
bring it out, Doc.
Man. Basically, you know what I'm saying? The Messiah is saying, hey, don't answer a fool according, don't approach or don't acknowledge a fool according to his folly, unless thou be this as similar thought as to that brother or similar spirit, man. You don't deal with folly, man. That's not what we're here for, man. We're here to bring out the word of Hamashiach, man. You know what I'm saying? It's not good for, you know what I'm saying, for a brother to eat meat, you know what I'm saying, when he's only meant to, you know what I'm saying, drink the milk at that point, you know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, if you're dealing with folly, that means you associate with folly. You know what I'm saying? It's basically what the scripture is breaking down.
Answer not a fool according to his folly, man. So that you got to have a certain type of discernment, right? You got to have some discernment. You got to know, is this person foolish? Is this person moving like a fool? Right? You don't want to answer a fool according to his folly, right? Because you're gonna liken yourself unto him. Verse number 25, the next verse, it says, answer a fool. So like it says, answer a fool according to his folly, lest he be wise in his own counsel. Man. Sometimes even a foolish person could say something wise in his own conceit, right? And that's when you have to have discernment, man. Discernment is very important in this truth. Discernment is righteous judgment. You need to know, hey, is this the right thing or is this not the right thing? Right? Is this a fact or this opinion? Is somebody speaking based off their emotions or are they speaking according to the truth? You got to have this certain type of discernment. So certain things that you should be asking of the Most High, some discernment, huh? Some wisdom, some knowledge and understanding. These are the things that you got to ask y'all about Shema Shai so that you could continue to increase in these last days and so that you won't be fooled by the things of this world. Right? So, hey, that's a good point. I'll praise y'all about Shema Shai.
Come on. One more precept, Bob.
Bring them out.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 3 and verse 13. Happy is the man that findeth wisdom, and the man that getteth understanding. Come,
bring it out, man.
So, you know what I'm saying, through all that folly and processing, you know what I'm saying, dealing with these folly people, man, you should be rejoiced, man, when you get the understanding of the Lord Hamashiach, man. You know what I'm saying? This is the pure bread that you're going to get that's going to reconstruct your life and put you in a different order. So why follow the folly when you sacrifice so much to come out of it? You know what I'm saying? Happy is the man that get him understanding. You know what I'm saying? Happy is the man that findeth himself and become that new man. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna stop there, because for real, man.
Hey, Con, you kind of fired up. Like I see it on you.
Hey, I got a little heat on me, man. I ain't gonna cap, man.
Con, all praises, man.
Right, all praise to the Lord, man.
Right, that's a good precept. It says, "Happy is the man that findeth wisdom." Like the brother say, you gotta kind of rejoice in this thing, man. When you have finally found wisdom, you're supposed to rejoice in that thing, man. Because not everybody gonna get this wisdom of the Lord. Not everybody is gonna get into this truth, man. Not everybody is gonna have the certain type of knowledge and understanding that you have. That's why with the knowledge that the Most High God has given you, it made you a scholar. What made you think, right? The people in the so-called hood will have understanding of the Bible, man, right? Because the Most High clicked on our light, man. He kind of brought us up. He gave us the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, and we rejoice each and every day. How do you rejoice, right? And when receiving the wisdom of the Lord, hey, man, you got to give thanks to the Lord, man. Most of your prayers should be thanking the Lord that you even in this thing, that you have the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, right? Because without this wisdom, we wouldn't be nothing, man. We'll be castaways. We'll be out of here. We'll probably still be in the world doing a wickedness, all types of wickedness, man. So it's a blessing to receive this wisdom. Right? Let me get a precept, right? I believe it's the book of Isaiah. Let me see. Bear with me, Israel. Let's see. Give me 1 second, Israel. All right, let's go to Isaiah, right? Let's go to the book of Isaiah. Let's see. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 65 and verse number 13. Right, Isaiah chapter 65 and verse number 13.
This is the book of Isaiah 65 and 13. Therefore, thus saith the Lord, Yahweh, behold, my servant shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servant shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed.
Come,
Right.
come. I
Read
need
on.
some enthusiasm, baby.
Read on up.
And behold, my servant shall sing for joy of heart, but ye shall cry for sorrow of heart, and shall howl for vexation of spirit.
For vexation of the spirit, man. Right? Why do we rejoice in all these things? Why do we rejoice eating, drinking, right? And singing a new song with joyful of heart? Why are we rejoicing for all these things? Because we have wisdom. We receive the wisdom of the Lord. That's why we rejoice in day in and day out, man. Because if we didn't have this wisdom, we wouldn't be able to rejoice. We'll be miserable, man.
Come.
Right? We'll be sitting back with a frown on our face all the time. Hey, if you're a Hebrew Israelite, you should be joyful right now. Right? Because you're in the truth, man. Right? You know who you are. Most High will you keeping the commandments to the best of your ability. That's a blessing, man. The Most High put you in this truth at its appointed time. That's a blessing. If you were not to be in this truth right now, hey man, no telling what be going on, man. Right? You probably still want to be out there traveling to China, Russia, and now you can't get back. All right? All hell breaking loose right in front of you, but you might not even have that spiritual eye. So count it a blessing that the Most High gave you wisdom, even the milk of it. Count it all joy that you're in this truth and that you've gained wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the Lord, man. You got to throw it up to the Most High each and every day, thanking the Most High, man. Most of your prayers should be thanks. Thanking the Most High, man. How many people just sit back, hey, thank the Most High, man? Don't even ask for nothing. Just thank the Most High. That's something that you got to think about, man. Right? So that's a good point from the brother, man. We rejoice in these times, man. We rejoice in having wisdom. Because, hey, man, it could have been anybody else, but the Most High God chose us. Right, Khan?
Man. Khan. Man, I got a fire preset, but look, we go, hey, I don't want.
Bring it out. Bring it out.
No, I can't, man. We gonna prolong all night.
All right, one more. One more.
Bring it out.
God, man, it's the book of Isaiah, chapter 66 and verse 4. I also will choose their delusions and will bring their fear upon them. Because when I called, none did answer. When I spake, they did not hear. But they did evil before my eyes, and chose that is which I delighteth not. Come on, man.
Break it down, Doc. What's going on?
Come on, man. So basically, the Messiah is saying, man, hey, if you choose anything, any evil upon my wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, man, I'm gonna bring that to life against you, man. Your way of living, if you chose to be delusional under my laws of understanding, I'm gonna put that delusion into a reality for you, man. God, man, and you know what I'm saying? I'm really trying to come down now because I'm really hyped up. So you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let you go ahead, because man, we'll be all night here, man. I was stranded outside, so I'm fired up, man. I ain't gonna lie to you,
Hey, all praises to y'all about Shimmy Al Shai.
God, man, I couldn't wait to
blessing,
get
got somebody
back, man.
fired up.
I'm trying to kill you.
Hey, that's a good point, right? Let's get Psalm chapter 81, man. Psalm chapter 81 and verse number 11, right? Because brother brought out a good point, man, right? Isaiah 66 and verse 4. It says, I also would choose their delusions. It will bring bring their fears upon them, because when I called, none did answer. When I spake, they did not hear, but they did evil before mine eyes and chose that in which I delighted not, man. So the Most High will give you up to your delusions, man. The Most High will give up what you desire the most, either if it's righteous or unrighteous. But in this case, it'll be an unrighteous thing, because He's gonna bring evil upon you. He's gonna bring your fears upon you because you didn't want to listen to Him, nor did you want to hear it. Right. So bring up that Psalm chapter 81 and verse number 11.
This is Psalms chapter 81. It's like it at verse 11. My people would not hearken to my voice, and Israel would none of me.
Right. So it's saying the same thing as in Isaiah chapter 66 verse number 4, man. Our people don't want to listen, neither do they want to hear the words of Yahweh Shem Shai. But read on.
So I gave them up unto their own hearts lust, and they walked in their own counsel.
Right. So that's giving them up to their own delusions, man. Their own heart's lust. Giving them over to their own mind. Because they didn't want to listen, nor did they want to hearken. And they were called to walk in their own counsel, man. So it was all ordained, man, for them to walk in their own counsel, right? Walking and trying to use their own advice. They think they know what's best for them instead of the Most High knowing what's best for them, man. So the Most High gave them up unto them things, man. Right? Gave them up to them strong delusions, like it says in Isaiah chapter 29 and 9. Right, like the brother brought out Isaiah chapter 66 and verse 4, and Psalms 81, chapter 11 on down. Right, so you don't want to be a part of that group. You don't want to be in that category, man. Right, you want to be one of those ones that's rejoicing for Yahweh Bashim El Shai, being gladness of heart and serving Yahweh Bashim El Shai, man. Not taking on your own counsel, but taking on the counsel of Yahweh Bashim El Shai, man. Everything boils down to following the wisdom and instructions of the Lord, man, as we should be doing each and every year we in this truth. So nobody should be decreasing. Everybody should be increasing with wisdom, knowledge, and understanding while being in this truth. All right. So with that, right, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto the Most High God Yahweh, Ba'Shem Mashiach, one Malak Yahushai. Right. That's the end of the lesson. Right. I'm gonna give everybody a couple of seconds to face the east and get ready for the Lord's Prayer. Right, Khan? Khan. All right, so this is the Lord's Prayer in the Paleo Hebrew. Everybody face the east. My brothers, remove any hats or hoods. Sisters, put on a hair wrap or anything that covers your head. Right? So this Lord's Prayer in the Paleo Hebrew, right? Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Haya, Shamka, Yahweh, Malakwatka, Taba'a, Ratazaka, Haya, Aisha, Barataza, Kowa, Haya, Bashamayim, Natalanawa, Laham, Ho, Yawam, Wazalaknawa, Kabawatnawa, Kazalaknawa, Kabawatinawa, Wala'a, Damiyanawa, Banasayawan, Abul, Hawashainawa, Ayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Amalakwat, Waha'ala, Wataparaf, Lai Walam Yum, Man,
Man.
Khan. All praises to the Most High, man. I hope it's brothers.
Hey man, you gotta get rejoice from the Lord, man. You gotta have a rejoice spirit, rejoice heart, man. For real.
Not for real, you got to. So it's the Most High saying that disappointed time, and we gotta rejoice.
Hey man, well shit, it's the beginning of our time, man. You gotta rejoice.
Khan. No, you the facts up. Praises, man. Y'all sat through the lesson. Know it was a good, hour and a half, probably 2 hours, but all praises. Most High
Hey man,
will.
Lord's willing, man. I've been stuck outside, man. I've been trying to get back to the camp, man, for hours now. So all praise to Hamashiach, man. He keep my fire on. He keep my zeal on fire. So man,
God.
tell y'all, my name's Sean Waller. You know, if we haven't met, my name's Sean Waller, Yasserella, man. So, you know, all praises to you, brothers and Aquaps and Malak. You know what I'm saying? We here, man.
God, all praises. What state you stationed in? Hey,
I'm in the city of Detroit, man. HOI Detroit, man. You know what I'm saying? Been here since 2020, man. So you know what I'm saying? We here to make a change, man. Y'all gonna be hearing a lot from me very soon. Very soon, man. Bringing out this word of Hamashiach, man. We got that zeal for sure.
God, all praise to the Most High. Most High will. You know, HOI Chicago, we do travel to the Midwest states, so or into any state in general. So Most High will, when we get out there, we'll see you out there, and even Most High will, we'll see you at Passover.
Khan, all praise to Hamashiach, man. How about Shimmy Al Shabaraka? Khan,
Shalom, y'all about Shimmy Al Shabaraka.
I see you brothers, man. Shalom.
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 Hey, shalom, everybody. Tawab Layallah. Hope everybody has a good night. I hope all you brothers and sisters were edified through the lesson. Let's continue to have faith and keep the commandments of Yahweh Shalom. Shalom.
Shalom. Kom Yahweh Shem Yahshua Barakatah.
Yahweh Shalom.